This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you.
Welcome. Step right up to the PTBN E-Ticket Attraction and enjoy the ride through the theme parks around the world with your host, Jason Sherman. Now, sit back, make sure your restraint is fastened, items stowed away, and keep your arms and legs inside the podcast at all times.
As dreamers do.
PTB Nation, welcome to the third edition of the PTBN E-Ticket Attraction. I am your host, Jason Sherman, and joining me today to talk about Universal Studios, the other park in Orlando, is the host of The Great Debate, Looking Forward, Looking Back, the Year in Pop, or the co-host of the Year in Pop, Laugh in Theater, Mr. Andy Atherton. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. This is going to be an epic episode of PTBN E-Ticket Attraction. And good thing you said co-host for Year in Pop, or else I was going to hear it backstage from, Criscolo, because, we have to have equal billing on that show per the contract.
I caught myself. I saw what I was doing.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Jason, for having me here tonight. Yes, I actually do love Universal pretty much as much as I love Disney. It's a little different, a little something for everybody. They have a lot of screens, whatever, but they have some different attractions, and there's always room for more. You don't always have to have a Snickers bar. You can have a Twix once in a while. You can have a whatchamacallit, whatever. It's okay.
Yes. And I did like your little epic pun. That was fun.
Yes.
We
are fantastic here at PTBN.
I did want to make a couple quick announcements before we start. If you are joining us for the Halloween Horror Nights portion of this podcast, it is going to be full of spoilers. So if you want to go to Halloween Horror Nights spoiler-free, I would recommend listening to that after you attend the event. Also, I know I had said I had an interview with Jason Ryan Perry, who played Ted Theodore Logan in Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure for this episode, but due to some scheduling conflicts that had to be delayed, that will be coming out in a few weeks. So look forward to that. All right. So now on to Universal Studios. Andy, what is your history with Universal Studios?
Well, I don't have the history like I do with Disney. I mean, I've only been to Disney a few times. Also, being from the Northeast and kind of like, life got in the way, marriage, kids, houses, kind of stuff. And but I do love me some Universal. First time I visited was, I believe, the spring of 1994. I did a spring break trip with some of my fraternity brothers. And we hit Universal, and they did one of those deals where it was like, buy one day, you get 2 free or something. So we ended up going twice that trip, and we had a blast. And then back in 2006, my daughter was 4. My son wasn't even around yet with their mom, and I went to we did a week-long trip, and we did 2 days. Well, we stayed at Disney, and we did 2 days at Universal, and then 4 straight days of Disney Park. So 6 days straight-up park touring. A little exhausting. Learned my lesson. Big tip, though. Always take a break. Do 2 days, take a break. 2 days, take a break if you're ever going for a week to any of these places. But I loved Universal. The rides are a bit more thrilling, so to speak. Different IPs, so you get different experiences. That's definitely, it's not Disney. Let's just say that they try as hard as they want. It's never going to be Disney, and that's okay.
But I also think that Universal in general is geared towards more of an adult crowd with pretty much everything they do.
Yeah.
When you look at their specialty events, when Disney does their festivals at Epcot, they bring in bands, but when Universal does like Mardi Gras, they bring in like national huge recording artists, where Disney will bring in a band that was relevant like 20 something years ago. to do like 3 sets a day.
I think it's because I think Disney's a bigger brand in theme parks still. I mean,
100%.
Universal is closing the gap. I mean, a little bit every time. I mean, they are, buying up and opening new hotels and new parks. But, people, go to Food and Wine because they have that incredible food and wine setup. You can have a lower tier band. When they have Universal, it's really, you can get beads and hurricanes and beignets a lot of places. Okay, you got to have that A-list talent. They kind of
I'm not disagreeing with that. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. You're 100% right. But I think one thing I do respect about Universal the most is they don't have the land that Disney does. Disney has copious amounts of land to do practically whatever the fuck they want. Mm-hmm. Universal is much more compact. They're in a much more populated area. And what Universal does with the space they have is pretty amazing. I don't really care about Harry Potter, but what they did with Diagon Alley, for example, like you walk in there and you feel like you're going to bump into Hermione. It's crazy how awesome that area is. And I know you haven't been there since they put that in, but I mean, I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck about Harry Potter, but you walk in there, like, give me a butterbeer, let's do it. And I do recommend butterbeer.
Mm-hmm. I've had the bottled one. Not a fan, but like everything, it probably tastes better there. So,
I think so. I have to get one every time I go. Every time. As far as my history, like you, I first went to Universal, and I think it was 1994 too. My brother got married in Orlando at a yacht club at Disney, actually, and instead of going to Disney, I told my sister I wanted to go to Universal, so that's what we did. And that was the first time I went. I went again WrestleMania 24 weekend when that was in Orlando. We went to Universal, and I've gone to Horror Nights here and there, splattered years here and there. But as far as like the park itself, I've been going pretty consistently since 2013. I've been a pass holder, so I go 2-3 times a year. Not as much as Disney, but definitely hit Universal a lot. Mostly for Horror Nights, though, to be honest.
Cool. Yeah, from what I've seen, they have first top notch, first class Halloween stuff. I mean, one of my favorite things every year, the kids and I watch on YouTube. You ever watch the Ellen show? And she forces one of her producers, Andy, to go through a house.
I've seen clips.
Those are hysterical. I mean, he gets mad and starts yelling at them. Stop that!
Yep.
Stop that! I see you! I see you over there! I know you're coming out. It's not real. It's not real. Ah!
It's great. I've seen them. Yeah,
that might actually be me. I don't know yet. I mean, I can handle some things, but Six Flags. It's been a while since I've been to Fright Fest. It was horrible. I think I went twice. One time I just started yelling at some poor kid to like stop hitting the shovel near me. I'm like, it's not scary, it's annoying, you're giving me a headache, go the fuck away. And then last time Andy, it was just so batshit crazy that I'm like, I refuse to go back. My kids, even if my kids even say they want to go, I'm like, nope.
I'm telling you, this year I'm kind of spoiling something in the next half of the show, but I've already spoiled it on Facebook. But this year, this Ghostbusters house is everything and then some. It is perfect.
It looks very cool, but I mean, difference is Universal and Six Flags. So Six Flags is the closest I have up here within driving distance, and even as a pass holder, I refuse to go.
Is it really that bad?
Well, I mean, it has been a few years. I mean, it was.
Do you get free admission as a pass holder?
Yeah, we get free admission. Well, I'm a member. They change their things. If there's a pass holder and there's members, which is you have a season pass and then you get certain discounts and certain preferential things depending on what level member you are. Because actually, I'm going to hit Holiday in the Park for the first time this year. Don't know what it's going to be like going to an amusement park when it's bitter cold, but we're going to find out.
Well, Universal's the same way. That like their passes are tiered, and like if you have a certain pass, you get a free ticket to Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, yeah.
But I usually get like a one that can go multiple days because I'm upset. But anyway, back to a regular Universal talk. So if you were to rank your 3 favorite rides at Universal, what would you say they are?
They were talking about current rides because because I'm going in August, so I can tell you.
Well, as of right now, what you know is there and what you've done.
What I've done.
What would you? Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking at the list right now. There might only be 3 rides I've done. Out of the current rides that are there. I'm going to have to go Revenge of the Mummy. Because that was a lot of fun roller coaster. I'm going to have to say Shrek. Because I love me some Lord Farquaad action. And then
all right.
For nostalgia, E.T. Adventure. Because everything else that's there now is either something else or, not even like Despicable Me was Jimmy Neutron. The Simpsons was Back to the Future. Hollywood Rip Ride and Rocket wasn't even there. Transformers wasn't there. So it's kind of limited. What I can tell you what I'm looking forward to more are Rip Ride Rocket, Transformers, and Simpsons probably the most.
Okay, well, if you've done Back to the Future, you said.
Yep, several times, yeah.
I don't know if anyone's told you, but it's literally the same exact ride.
Well, yeah, I know the structure is the same. I mean, I'm sure the movie is a little different, whatever that you move with.
Well, obviously, but I even think the movements are the same.
Really, they never reprogrammed.
I think so. I think so.
Professor
They
Frick
just made the movie.
Professor Brown.
No, I think they made the movie to match the movements, which is easy for them to do. I'm not. I mean, I did Back to the Future once, and it was my favorite. But I really think it's the same exact thing. Well, actually, the only reasons I bought Back to the Future box set on Blu-ray is because one of the bonus features that has the video you would watch as you're waiting in the queue. So the Back to the Future ride at Universal.
Oh, you mean with Biff getting loose?
Yeah.
Actually, I own. Now, this is how dated it is. I bought it when we were there in 1994 on VHS. Oof. All right,
VHS
hosted by John Forsythe. It's Universal History. I don't know, Movies and Magic, and it basically goes back to when the park opened in 1990, and it featured all the current rides on this video and showed you behind the scenes and did some ride footage. It showed the opening ceremony with Steven Spielberg cutting the film strip and everything. Yeah, it was very cool. I mean, Jaws was on it, everything. And it was
nice.
And I actually converted it to DVD so I could keep watching it.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So, my favorite 3 current rides at Universal. I want to give honorable mention to Transformers. It's not the best ride, but I do love Transformers. I love the idea of it. It's fun. It's kind of hard to the screen because I don't know if you watch those movies when they're fighting, it kind of looks like a junkyard having sex with itself. With you can't differentiate like what you're looking at. So when you see that on the screen, it's kind of like that. But to see Megatron, to see Optimus, to see Bumblebee, it gives you the feeling of Transformers. But my number 3, that's where I'm going to put The Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
I love The Simpsons. I was really upset when they took Back to the Future away. If it's going to be replaced by anything, I'm glad it was The Simpsons. It's fun. If you like The Simpsons and at all, you'll like the ride. And if you like the Back to the Future the ride, you'll like this ride too. Number 2, the very first roller coaster I ever did was when I went during WrestleMania 24 weekend to Universal and I did the Mummy for the first time. So that's where I'm going to put that. I love that. Do you remember when you go into that room with the fire?
Yeah.
How hot it was?
Yes. You
that was so awesome.
It. And then, also the scene with the scarabs going all over the place.
Yes. kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But I like that coaster quite a bit. It made me feel comfortable with coasters and being able to do them. There's still a lot I won't do, like Rip Ride Rocket scares the fuck out of me. I will never do that.
You've never done it, Rip Ride Rocket?
Nope.
Oh my
Nope.
God, I'm dying to do that, especially after watching Jimmy Fallon and Kevin Hart ride it.
Well, you're gonna have to tell me how it is because I won't do that thing. Especially
It doesn't look that
also.
much.
So listen, when you do Halloween Horror Nights there, because of where they have hoses and all the sound stages, like in the background,
Yeah.
where they have the wait line, you wait under like the ride of Rip Ride Rocket and seeing it, everything about it. I'm just looking at it like, nope, nope, never, nope, not gonna happen. So, yeah, I
What about it?
Like that's,
what about
that's-
it scares you? Like, what about this? What kind of coaster is it? It's a steel, right? And it goes. Does it go upside down?
it does like inversions.
All right, so it does like corkscrews, right? Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't think there's a shoulder harness though. It's probably a very
It goes
heavy lap bar.
It goes right across your lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a few rides like that up here in the Northeast. Up at Six Flags New England, there's the Wicked Cyclone,
Okay.
which is a hybrid coaster, which was a wooden and they put steel on it, and you go upside down without shoulder harnesses. It has a very heavy lap bar that holds your legs in as well. But there's also one. I think they opened one at Busch Gardens just like it, called Tigress. I think it's called. But up here, there's a Lake Compounds, which is in Bristol, which is near ESPN, called Phobia. And it's not very big, and it's only like a 4-seater, and you go upside down, but you do it very slowly. And you have like, I literally thought I was going to fall out of this fucking thing. My daughter was like, we got off the ride. She's like, I'm done. Nope, I'm good. I'm never going on that thing again. She's like, and she goes on everything, and she's like, nope, I thought I was going to fall out. I'm good. My son's like, yeah, let's go again. I'm like, no. And I had to do it like another 2 or 3 times. But is it the height of Rip Ride Rocket? I mean, like, do you do Incredible Hulk?
Two things that push me. I've done it once and I won't do it again. It made me sick. It made me sick.
Okay. If it made you sick,
I'll do. It's funny because Incredible Hulk and Rock and Roller Coaster are pretty much the exact same ride layout. I can do Rock and Roller Coaster, except Rock and Roller Coaster shoots you straight. Hulk shoots you up. That's the only real difference. The ride itself, like the movements you make, the G-force,
I don't know. I don't think
like
Rock and Roller Coaster. I don't think it goes that high. I mean, Hulk goes pretty damn high from what I can remember.
Well, that's what I said. It shoots you up instead of straight. But I'm saying, like, with the movements and the inversions and the G-force you feel on both is the same.
Okay.
Except I don't get sick from Rock and Roller Coaster. I get sick from Incredible Hulk. But it's two things. That when you go like flat vertical.
Yeah. What was that?
No. And I've also heard an old friend of mine that has done the ride and has told me that you experience a lot of whiplash because there's no shoulder sort of harness. I don't like that. And I don't think that'll be good for me. Those are the only 2 reasons.
Okay.
And besides, it scares the fuck out of me.
So I guess you would never go on King the Ka.
Probably not. So for my number 1, it's a tie. I couldn't choose between the 2 because they're both great. E.T.
Okay.
As you may know from our Magic Kingdom episode, I love Peter Pan. And to me, E.T. is just like Peter Pan.
Yeah, same ride vehicle.
I love the feeling, the smell. The smell, they get on the bikes, it's cute, it's fun. You say your name at the front, and it's supposed to say your name at the end. So the other one that is tied for number 1 is the Harry Potter Escape from Gringotts. It's like a half roller coaster, half simulation ride.
Okay.
But it feels like a roller coaster, even though you're looking at a screen. It feels like a roller coaster, and it's really a lot of fun. So when you go, make sure you do that.
Oh yeah, there's a whole day set aside for Harry Potter.
Okay. Oh, you know about the train too, then?
Yeah, that's why we're going to do the park hopper and all that. We're staying at the Hard Rock, and we're doing one day at Universal, one day at Islands, and then we have a day just for Harry Potter. And then if we get through Harry Potter, then we can go hit some stuff again.
Sweet. No water park. You're not going to try the volcano?
No. We have a water park up here. So we could do water parks anywhere. Just we can't do that stuff.
Fair enough.
We're actually going to go. We're going to talk about the competition for a second. We're actually going over to the studios one day to hit Galaxy's Edge. Yes. And then also we're actually going to do SeaWorld.
Oh, sweet.
So
I have a story about SeaWorld later.
And there's because I know there's like 4 great coasters there. Plus, like my aunts don't go on the big rides, so they're gonna a lot of the attractions there are more suited for them, I guess, so to speak. With the
have you been to SeaWorld before?
Last time I was at SeaWorld was in San Diego in 1979. So that was my only time I've been to SeaWorld. I mean, I have water park. I mean, I think I've been to we have aquariums up here like Mystic and stuff, but we don't go to. We haven't been to SeaWorld in so long.
I don't think I've ever been to SeaWorld.
Really?
I was talking to my sister about it tonight actually, and she said, "Yeah, you went to SeaWorld." I'm like, "Fuck if I remember." I remember going to Disney when I was a kid, but she said, "Yeah, no, you went to SeaWorld." I'm like, "I don't remember that at all." So it must have not left that much of an impression on me, but we'll see the second time around if it does. Okay. So, as far as your least favorite ride, do you have one? I mean, your least favorite ride's probably gone.
Probably.
Whatever it was.
I mean, I don't know, would you consider Twister a ride?
No, I would say that's more of a show, but because you literally don't. Yeah, that was stupid.
And the fact that I knew the backstory of Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt going in, where they
I don't know what that is.
Apparently they hated each other so much.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
From when they shot Twister, when they had to go and do the attraction, I think they refused to be in the same room together. When they shot the video.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see like some. You'd have to look at the way it was edited or shot, but yeah, I had heard that like they hated each other. So
that's funny.
But
yeah, that's. I mean, you can count that if you want. If there's nothing else you can. Classify as worse.
I actually liked Earthquake. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, let's see, trying to remember. I mean, I've never been on Fast and Furious. I haven't been on Fallon. So.
Oh, I'm gonna let it fly in a second.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I really have. I guess I don't have enough to make a quantifier, whatever, one of those words. Case for a worse ride, I guess, in my opinion. I mean, I thought Men in Black was just okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Men in Black either. That's actually an honorable mention for least favorite ride for me, but it doesn't even hold a candle to the literal worst ride.
All right.
So, like I said, Men in Black, honorable mention. Buzz Lightyear blows it out of the water. Toy Story Mania blows it out of the water. It's a typical shoot aliens thing. Kind of silly. I didn't love the movie either, so that could have something to do with it. Also, another honorable mention is Jimmy Fallon. Whatever. Do I think Jimmy Fallon needs his own ride at Universal? No. Is it better than Twister? Yeah, I'll say it's better than Twister, but it's still it absolutely does not need to be a ride at a theme park, especially one that's supposed to be so focused on. So. The worst ride I've ever been on in any park, anywhere I've ever been in my life. I'm even counting those prop-up carnivals that are in your town for a week. I'll do any of those rides before I do this one again. Fast and the Furious Supercharge. Holy fuck!
Really?
What a shit show of a ride that is. You literally watch the worst CGI film you've ever seen in your life you have fucking Vin Diesel tearing down a helicopter on his own. Have you seen Justice League?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember how terrible that CGI was on Henry Cavill's face to remove that mustache?
Yes.
10 times better than the CGI in the Fast and Furious ride.
Wow.
It is fucking hot garbage. I hate it. I hate it. And I hate it. I've done it twice now. I gave it a second shot this year, and I will never step foot on that fucking ride again. What a waste of fucking 10 minutes of my life.
So that replaced the
earthquake / disaster.
Yeah, I was going to say that the disaster ride with the Rock.
Yeah,
that was So
it got replaced by the Rock again. The Rock replaced the Rock.
Okay.
I mean, it has CGI versions of Vin Diesel and all those. Tyrese is all over that thing. Ludacris is all over that thing. Still, it's terrible. Don't. I'm not going to tell you not to do it because I'm sure you're going to try it.
Yeah, we're going to try it.
What's that?
No Han.
Yeah.
Hashtag justice for Han.
I'm not a fan of the films. I've seen the first one and the fifth one. So I don't even know if I know who that is.
So Han was one of the cooler characters. He was introduced in Tokyo Drift.
And I never saw it.
He gets killed off in a post-credit scene later on.
Oh.
By spoilers for Fast and Furious franchise. He gets killed. He gets killed off by Deckard Shaw, played by Jason Statham.
Okay.
And now all of a sudden we're supposed to root for Deckard Shaw, like he's misunderstood. You know what I mean? Han was fucking cool, and he was banging Giselle, which was played by Gal Gadot.
Oh, I didn't know she was in those movies either.
She's in a couple of them. Yeah, spoiler: she gets killed off too.
No. Not so wonderful then, huh?
No.
Anyway. So I'm curious after you go to let me know what you think. Because I hate it so much. It's not even like it took away a ride I liked. I didn't care about Disaster. It's just so bad. Like, so bad. So bad. All right, now that let that vitriol out for how much
you hate
so much.
How much you hate it.
Is there anything? Oh, it's so bad. Is there any like non-ride attraction or show that they do at Universal that you really enjoyed?
I mean, I liked. I always thought their actors were good, because they had IP there. You had the Schwabs. You had some old time. You see Marilyn Monroe come by. You see the Blues Brothers.
Yep.
That I enjoyed. The Ghostbusters come walking down the street. I think we talked about this before. Like Wayne Brady played Winston on that video I own of the Universal Parks. Like one day I'm just watching it. All of a sudden, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Wayne Brady. We all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I just generally love, Spielberg is my favorite director of all time, and I've always that's like a dream of anybody who ever wants to do movies, be movies, direct or write. Like I write screenplays in my free time, which is very little, but to be able to create a movie and then it becomes live. So, that guy has created so many movies, and you have, E.T., and you have the Jurassic Park ride, and you have this, right? That, and basically what he envisioned, you get to experience firsthand.
Yeah.
So, that's what I love about Universal. Disney is great with a lot of their stuff is based off animated rides, animated attractions.
Yeah.
Which you could never, be part of. As much as I would love to go to Monstropolis, it ain't going to happen. But could they bring dinosaurs back to life and you go on a boat ride? Maybe. That's more plausible. That's more of a chance of happening.
Well, an alien coming down to Reese's Pieces, is that going to happen too?
Well, I mean, if M&M's wasn't dicks about everything, yeah. Well, that's what happened.
Also, Spielberg, they did have the Jaws attraction too. Oh well, Can't always get what you want, can you?
Hey, it's save Reese's Pieces because they wouldn't be around today if it wasn't for E.T.
I don't know. I prefer Reese's Pieces to Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, but that was another tournament ago.
Yes. But at the time, Reese's Pieces was not catching on.
Okay. When did E.T. come out? 83?
Yeah.
Right? I was not even 2 yet, so I wouldn't even know. By the time I was, eating candy, Reese's Pieces was always a number one choice for me. And they're better than peanut butter M&Ms too.
Yeah. I would
Anyway,
say so.
Another candy tangent out of nowhere. Also, Spielberg had the Jaws ride too, which is, R.I.P.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's true.
So there's really not many shows at Universal anymore. There used to be a few. I did, but I'm also a huge Ghostbusters fanboy.
Mm-hmm. I did that, right?
I loved Nickelodeon Studios.
Yeah.
Walking through the sets and everything. When did you go in 94? Because I may have been there like the same time.
That was in March.
Do you remember?
I think it was March.
Yeah, I was around there too.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Maybe even been there the same day.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, but I was a college student.
Yeah, I was 13.
So a little different experience, I guess.
Yeah, I remember getting the picture with the Ectomobile and just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And of course, the DeLorean. That was cool too. But yeah, Ghostbusters ride, the show was awesome. Also, as silly as it was, the Terminator 2 ride was pretty fun. That's now closed. I'm pretty sure I heard rumors it's supposed to be a Bourne show. That's seeing it, which then I'll check it out, but I don't have my hopes up for it.
Okay.
Is there any food at Universal you like that you can think of? Any restaurants that you remember?
Nothing very very descript from what I can remember. It was more, it was just more about eating whatever at the time. When you have a 4-year-old, it would sit down meals. And always think. I am looking forward to hitting Fast Food Boulevard.
Okay, I'm going to mention that myself.
And then if I'm looking at my plan, we're going to hit Lombard Seafood Grill. I think that's one of our possibilities in the San Francisco area. But
yeah, I'm aware of it.
Yeah, but
if I make him,
go ahead.
If I may make a recommendation, I would say Finnegan's over Lombard's.
Okay.
Because Finnegan's is really good. It's
what was that? I missed that.
But it's really good. I think it's called Finnegan's. It's like an Irish pub feel.
Okay. So
they have this thing. It's like called the Tumbleweed. It's like what?
Oh, not O'Neill's. What's it called? That place. The place down at Disney. Raglan Road. Is it like
Rose Crown?
Is it like Raglan?
Are you talking about Disney Springs?
Yeah.
I've never been there. Okay. I've never been there, but I'm assuming it's kind of the same thing. Okay. They have this thing called the Tumbleweed. Mm-hmm. It's like a mix of thinly cut onion rings and like potatoes. So it's really good. I feel like onion rings and like freshly cut potato. It's really good. And it's got a full service bar there. It's a fun place.
Okay, we'll check it out.
But as far as fast service goes, there's really nothing that sticks out except for Fast Food Boulevard. You got your Krusty Burger, you got your Uncle Cletus Chicken Shack, you got your Flying Dutchman, you got a whole plethora of options, and you can eat after you get your food. You can sit in the booth at Moe's. Oh, which is awesome.
Yeah, I plan to have a flaming Moe while I'm there.
Oh, also, high recommendation. Right outside of Fast Food Boulevard, Bumblebee Man's Taco Truck.
Yeah?
There's a taco truck. Try the Korean beef tacos.
Okay.
Top notch.
Really?
Love them. Yes.
And of course, we have to get the big pink donut while we're there, too.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely something to get to. But yeah, it's not like Disney as far as food. There's not as many like named, places that you could remember as easily as the fast service and sit down restaurants at Disney.
Yeah.
That's something Universal doesn't do. I think like Disney, Universal's food thing is more focused on City Walk as you're walking into the park.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options there.
Yeah, we have a lot of City Walk reservations on our itinerary. So,
may I ask, like what?
Well, we got Margaritaville.
Oh,
you gotta remember it's got to be family friendly. I mean, my kids, they're not little, but they got to have some options. Let's see, the Cowfish Sushi Burger Bar.
Okay, so I've been dying to go there.
Okay,
so I'm going to need you to tell me how that is.
All right,
I'm dying to go there.
Let's see, what else do we have on here?
Are you going to the chocolate place?
I don't know. Probably stop there, maybe. We have Hot Dog Hall of Fame.
To get a milkshake?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
My daughter has such a sweet tooth that, yes, if she sees chocolate or anything, forget it.
Have you seen the pictures of those milkshakes that they serve there?
Is that the ones like with the cake in it and stuff like that?
Oh my God, they're fucking insane.
Yes, those look crazy. I mean, we are going to eat some at the resort a little bit, and then we have looks like Bubba Gump.
Bubba Gump, yep.
Which I've actually been to the one that used to be in Manhattan, and it was actually really good. It was in Times Square. I think it's now a Guy Fieri place now.
Nice,
but it was before. It was Bubba Gump. I took my kids there one day after Madame Tussauds, and we did a little down there. Yeah, so my daughter had a post
I've never been to
because of One Direction. It was a Justin Bieber figure was being fixed, so she was younger then. She had a puss on her face at the time.
That's funny. If you need something quick and you're in City Walk, you don't have a rservation or anything, I would recommend trying the Bread Box.
Okay.
It's a small fast service kind of fast food restaurant, but they have deluxe gourmet sandwiches that are really good.
Okay.
I recommend trying that if you have a minute. The grilled cheese, it's no joke.
Okay.
But yeah, Universal as far as food goes, it's not the same as Disney. That's something I think they need to maybe focus on in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Because the food options bring a lot of people into Disney. So as far as attractions that are gone, and since you've been there, it's now a graveyard for you. What would you say are some of the ones you missed the most, or going to miss the most when you go there?
Hanna-Barbera. I grew up loving all those cartoons, and the
fact, 2 rides ago, sir.
I know. Believe me, it was last time I was there was Jimmy Neutron. So I went on Jimmy Neutron. I was like, the whole time I kind of hate rode it. And I was like, it should still be Hanna-Barbera. I don't give a fuck about Jimmy Neutron. I mean, come on. I want to be here with Yogi and going through Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones and the Jetsons and all that fun stuff. What else? Definitely Back to the Future. Definitely gonna miss that. I think I went on. I think it was probably a year or so before it closed. It wasn't, how long ago did The Simpsons open up? Do you remember?
So I went there a few months after it opened. So I want to say that opened it was around the movie came out. Mm-hmm. So I want to say it was like 2007, 2008.
Yeah, so a year or two before.
Probably 2008.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's what I would say. I would say those are my, the ones I miss the most.
The ones you miss? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say, I'm also going to agree with Back to the Future. If you have a minute after we finish recording, there's a funny video that actually Jason Ryan Perry's in. It's you're a Universal Pass holder when, and they show a bunch of different clips, and one of them is a guy pouring out a drink by like the DeLorean or the train for the Back to the Future ride being gone. It's pretty funny. Okay. So the Back to the Future ride was sad to see that go, and sing praises of Diagon Alley before, but I'm really sad that Jaws had to go. Not gonna lie, probably not the best ride. Really outdated. Could have used a touch up, but I was still sad to see it go. Like when I first went to Universal, that was the ride I was looking forward to doing most. Towards the end of the run, the captain of the boat you're on always tried to make the ride fun. And if, being a super big Kevin Smith and Mallrats fan, the Jaws reference for the ride in the movie is always always something that made me laugh. So yeah, I do miss Jaws quite a bit. They still have Amityville, touches it. They still have the Jaws you can get your picture with there. So that's fun, but I really do miss that ride.
Yeah,
King Kong was fun too,
I didn't know that Jaws, that sharks actually roared. Because I remember I think they made a noise. And it was so, I actually didn't go on it in 2006. So, I think because we were taking turns going on some rides, and my ex-wife wasn't a big ride person, but she wanted to really go on Jaws. I'm like, you go on it, it's fine. And by the time she got off it, I was just like, let's move on, because I think my daughter might have been cranky at that moment. So I knew if I went on a ride and I came back, there were going to be two cranky people. So last time I went on that ride was actually probably '94, and I really enjoyed it. And it was fun. I mean, the whole thing where you get covered in the fog, and you can't see shit. For a second, you actually do get scared because you don't know what the hell is going to happen. But yeah, it was. So
fun. I want to say the last time I did Jaws, I think the last time I did it was 2011, right before they closed it to start building Diagon Alley. Maybe it was 2013, one of the 2 years. And it was during Halloween Horror Nights that I went. And it was actually literally one of the only cold days in Florida. I was actually wearing a hoodie. Normally you don't have to do that down here, especially in October. It's still usually in the 80s. But it was actually cold that night. And I've done Jaws 3 or 4 times before that, and I never got wet. And this is the one time I get absolutely fucking soaked, and I ended up getting a fever afterward. But it was worth it. It was fun, and I still miss it.
Now, if they did Fear Factor or whatever, and they said you had to swim from one end of this attraction to the other, would you be able to do it?
Wait, which attraction? Are you talking
if
Jaws?
If you had to swim through Jaws, would you be able to do it? Even though you know that in your mind that fucking those sharks are fake, would you still be able to swim through it without without crapping your pants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like me right now, absolutely. I mean, you'll if you it's portion of this podcast, I don't scare easily, especially if I know something's coming, especially if I know it's something fake. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I get scared more by real life situations.
I know some people just can't get it out of their mind. They know that it's fake, but they'll freak out.
Oh yeah, that happens to everyone I walk through a house at Horror Nights. They're screaming, and I'm just I have the goofiest grin on my face because I'm oh, this makeup is awesome. Oh, look at the set, it's great. That's what I'm looking for. I don't get scared by that kind of stuff. But yeah, I can easily do that. No problem. I don't know how much they have announced coming up for Universal itself. I don't really think anything besides Bourne, and I don't even think that's officially announced. So there's really
for just this park now. I think they're focusing on the
correct
Epic.
Yeah, because they just opened the Fast and the Furious last year. Islands opened the King Kong ride the year before. We'll talk about that at another time.
And the Jurassic World redo.
Yep, that too. I haven't done that yet. There's nothing new coming to proper. Except every year they change Horror Nights, which is awesome. The sad news for all the Horror Nights fans is the guy who's been running Horror Nights for the past 10 years, Mike Aiello, he got promoted, so he's not going to be in charge of Horror Nights anymore. So I'm hoping that doesn't affect the quality that we've come to expect from that great event. I don't know if you know who that guy is. Have you heard his name before?
It kind of sounds familiar in the Imagineering theme park conversations I've heard. I don't know. I don't know how familiar you are with the Jim Hill Media podcast network.
I'm not.
All right, so Jim Hill is an entertainment writer. The guy knows so much about theme parks. He started off with a podcast called The Disney Dish with this guy, Len Testa, who is one of the co-authors of The Unofficial Guide. And he has expanded. He has a Lucasfilm podcast. He has a it's called Looking at Lucasfilm, and the guy who co-hosts it with him actually has his own podcast called Coffee with Kenobi.
Oh wow!
And then there's another one called I Want That, which is a new one, which he actually does with his ex-wife, and it's all about Disney collectibles and merchandise. and then there's another one called Marvel Us Disney, which he talks with a guy all about what's going on with Marvel under the Disney umbrella.
Nice.
And then one I'm bringing up, though, is called The Universal Joint with this guy.
So it's all about Universal?
It's all about Universal. And usually you get one or two episodes of each one of those on this one feed, kind of like how you're listening to this on the Pup feed, we have different shows. He's got different shows on his feed, and they're really about half hour, 40 minutes usually. And if you're a theme park fan at all, or a fan of any of those like Lucasfilm, Marvel, and you kind of want to know like the history and what's going on behind the scenes on that, I highly recommend those. So yeah, check it out. It's the Jim Hill Media Network, and you can find it on the iTunes. And he does, I think he has, you can actually pay for stuff on Bandcamp. They do some bonus stuff. So check it out.
Oh, nice.
Free plug, Jim.
Cool. I'll have to do that.
I don't know if Jim's going to plug Place to Be Nation on his podcast, but there's always hope.
There's always hope. Yeah, Mike Iao, he's creative genius. I'll have to send you those videos. Like I said, there's the Universal Pass holder one. They also did one for Horror Nights. You're obsessed with Horror Nights when they did it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to. I would like to go just to check it out. I mean,
he was director of Horror Nights. I think he got.
He got what? He got promoted or something? You said?
I'm sorry.
What'd you say? You dropped out for a second.
Yeah, he got his new. I think his new title is actually created for the brand new park.
Oh, okay. So he's like a Joe Rohde.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'd like to get to.
Yeah, he seems like a super cool guy.
They have the scare zones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we talk about those too in the second half.
Did they do a Killer Clowns again this year?
They did a house.
Oh wow! Oh geez, with giant cotton candy cocoons and shit.
Yep.
Oh wow, that must have been cool.
Yep, that was. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, all right.
You have to listen to the show.
That's a soft tease, as Mr. Capel would say.
Soft tease. What's his name?
I don't want to tell tales out of school.
Hold me closer, Tiny Wanger. Is that what it is?
Yes, you have to listen to the Place to Be podcast live watch of No Holds Barred, the great Hulk Hogan vehicle with him and Tiny Lister to get that reference.
Yep, Zeus himself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those videos are actually really funny. He's actually in it. Mike Iao's he's really good friends with like Scotty Too Hottie, Zach Ryder, Cody Rhodes, who attend Horror Nights every year. It's actually funny. I met Cody Rhodes last year at a Ring of Honor show down here, and I was wearing my Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure shirt. And when I met him, he's like, "Oh, dude, that shirt!" And we ended up talking about Horror Nights for 10 minutes. That's Cody Rhodes is really cool. He's a big fan of Horror Nights. So that was a lot of fun to do. So, is there anything else you wanted to say about Horror Nights? Any questions for your upcoming trip from someone who frequents there more often?
I'll be there in August, so Horror Nights won't be starting yet. We're going early August because my daughter will be going to college, so we don't exactly know when she'll have to go, but it's probably most likely the third or fourth week, so we're just going to be safer than sorry. No, I mean, from what I can remember, this is my first time staying at Universal, so looking forward to that. I know the two parks are basically like next to each other.
Correct.
And the park hopping is relatively
simple train ride away.
Mm-hmm.
Simple train ride away.
I remember actually park hopping my own right before the train in 2006, because on our second day, my daughter was getting cranky, so her and her mom went back to. We were staying at the Pop Century. So they took the the Mir shuttle, and I stayed with their whatever they were at the time. It was like skip the line passes. We had one for each of us, and I proceeded.
They call them express passes.
Yeah, express passes. I had 3.
Yeah.
So I was able to go on all the rides I wanted to, and I was like, oh, fuck, I can go back to the other park. So I just walked right over there, and I'm like, oh, I could go on these. So I think that's really great, the ease of convenience there. And I'm looking forward to getting City Walk. And, it's just a little different, that's all. Just
Now, here's a question. Were you considering doing the Blue Man Group?
Probably not. I'm really not big into the shows and stuff when it comes to going away.
I never did either, and I'm kind of mad it took over Nickelodeon Studios, but it's always something I'm kind of interested in seeing, but never did.
It's like saying I want to see Cirque du Soleil. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm really...
One thing I did go to Universal for a lot. I never actually went to the park, but I've been to about 4 or 5 of the TNA pay-per-views that they used to do there monthly.
Oh, jeez.
Victory Road 2004, the very first 3-hour pay-per-view they did, I was there. And you can see me on screen at some points.
Wow, yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Oh, my God. Did they pay you to sit in the stands for that?
No, I wanted to be there. I was a huge Jeff Hardy fan, and that was like his coming out party as like a main event or for a different company. I got to go to like a meet and greet festival. Yeah, we had actually really good seats for that. Every time we went, we had really good seats.
Yeah,
but,
I remember.
That was a different era of TNA. I wouldn't do that now.
I remember being at a Superstars taping years ago when I was like, I think it was like 21 or 22, and I was in the 3rd row, I think, camera, so you could see me like on like 3 or 4 straight weeks of TV. So that's
crazy.
Yeah, that's my kind of claim to fame on syndicated wrestling television.
There's actually an episode of Raw from 2001 that was shot in Miami that our seats were there, but they were taken away because they had an eggnog match. Those stupid matches. You know what I'm talking about, right? So they had us like floating all around the floor trying to like move us around to find us somewhere to sit. And there's a part there's a match between the Acolytes and Billy and Chuck that you see me and my friends walking in front of the front row.
Well,
as the match is going on, because they had us floating around the whole arena. It was ridiculous.
Well, I might have been on camera for WrestleMania this year, but my idiot kid had to go go to the merchandise stand or whatever. Like, I think we got up to go to the bathroom or go get something to eat, and I come out. I'm like, where the hell is he? And he went to the merch stand without telling me. It took me to find him. Finally, we go back inside, and we couldn't get to our seats because the Shane Miz match was going on. And I think they fought by our seats. So I was like, are you kidding me? I said, next time, you know what, listen to me once in a while.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, I know.
Well, it was fun talking to Andy about the other Orlando theme park,
yes.
Universal Studios Orlando. And it was a lot of fun, and I hope everyone sticks around and checks out the Halloween Horror Nights portion of the show, because if there's anything I have a huge passion for, it is the band Bush and Halloween Horror Nights. So I hope everyone checks it out, and I thank everyone for listening to E-Ticket Attraction. Thank you. Andy, before we go, did you have anything you wanted to plug?
Well, sure. Thank you, Jason. Well, don't forget, Laugh in Theater. You and I got together. We did Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And
excellent.
Yes, it was an excellent show, so to speak. And then Mr. David Sunday and I of Sunday Groove, we watched Soy Married an Axe Murderer. That really, really funny Mike Myers movie that gained quite a cult following, which is
very pre-Shrek.
Yes,
a pre-Shrek Mike Myers.
Yes, and it goes to show how outside of Wayne Campbell, Mike Myers needs to have a Scottish accent or some kind of British Isles accent in order to have a successful movie. Hence, Shrek, Austin Powers, So I Married an Axe Murderer. But no, it was a fun time, hanging out with David, watching a movie together. Plus, check out, we have Year in Pop coming soon, 1978, with myself. my co-host, Mr. Criscolo, the Doctor, George Rublino, and Jerison D'Amato. And stay tuned for another great debate coming soon.
I'm looking forward to a great debate. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's sometimes it's hard to get the people lined up, and stuff gets in the way. But I'd like these to be build them up. Leave them wanting more, I guess.
Anticipation.
Yes.
Build that anticipation. And like I said at the beginning, look for an interview with Jason Ryan to come in the next few weeks. Besides that, an article coming out on the great television show named Boy Meets World coming soon, and also a weekly DVD movie watching project I'm going to be working on for the website. So look for that. And besides that, make sure you listen to all of the shows on Place to Be Nation, Place to Be Nation Pop. Look to get yourself involved in the WWE TV and pay-per-view match project. Of course, the 80s tournament's going to be wrapping up really soon, but do we know what the next tournament is? Is that we keeping that under wraps for now?
It is still under wraps. All we can say is stay tuned.
Looking forward to it. I love the tournaments. It's always something to look forward to do every day. Good debate.
Yes, it's people get very passionate about things that you never thought they would.
Duran.
The battle of stripper songs. I think we had. At one point, somebody was calling it on Facebook.
Listen. No one knock my. Don't pour some sugar on me. All right, leave Def Leppard alone. Leave Def Leppard alone. That's all I'm saying. But again, I want to thank everyone for checking out the third episode of the E-Ticket Attraction, the Universal Studios Orlando edition. Look for the Halloween Horror Nights second half, and thanks for joining us.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Place to Be Nation's JT Rosero and Chad Campbell here. We want to let you know that we have over 24 podcasts available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and PlaceToBeNation.com. We now offer them to you on two great feeds. On the Place to Be Nation Wrestling feed, we dive into topics running the gamut from today's WWE to the glory days of yesteryear and the ins and outs of the territory days. In addition to our full-length shows, we also deliver to you special pod blasts on topics old and new.
The Place to Be Nation Pop feed is a veritable treasure trove of great content, offering tremendous shows covering the land of movies, television, life, comics, and sports, brought to you by the most knowledgeable and insightful folks in the podcast world.
You can find all of these current shows, plus archives of our previous podcasts over the past 8 years as well, by subscribing to our feeds on iTunes. And while there, be sure to rate and leave feedback as well. All of these shows, plus others available at PlaceToBeNation.com, where we cover pro wrestling, sports, movies, comics, plus in-depth stretch projects and more. Be sure to support our site by using www.PlaceToBeNation.com/Amazon while doing your online shopping. And be sure to join us at our forum at Bigelow34.proboards.com for all sorts of wrestling, sports, and pop culture discussion each and every day, where you can make your voice heard. We also want to thank our friends at Bonehead's Wing Bar, ProWrestlingOnly.com, and TheHistoryOfWrestling.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr as well. PlaceToBeNation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
And we are back, and there's, of course, a lot of stuff going on in the Place to Be Nation pop feed. First of all, you'll want to check out our weekly shows, leading off with the hard-traveling fanboys as they continue their Long Book Hunters escapades by reading a Legion of Superheroes story called The Great Darkness Saga. DC4U wraps up September with a new current events looking at all the big DC comics, TV, and movie news for the month. as well as picking their top DC books from the month. Check out their shows from earlier this month that were all about The Flash. This week in the NFL hits weekly as well, with Roger and Johnny recapping the latest set of games and previewing the upcoming week's batch. That's a great show, by the way, if you're a football fan. A brand new show joins the Pop Feed as siblings Kevin and Mary host the Brother-Sister Rewatch podcast. On episode 17, they bring you The Office, Season 3, episodes 5 and 6, Diwali. Jenny and Miranda share a huge announcement on Geek and Sassy number 36, and then reveal the winner of their giveaway contest. On Laugh in Theater number 12, Andy welcomes my friend David Sunday to live watch So I Married an Axe Murderer. On Looking Forward, Looking Back, it's the summer movie recap and wager results. Andy is joined by Miranda, Scott, Tim, and Russell to see who won, and it's not a bird movie. Check out the new podcast feed that is brought to you by our very own Jennifer Smith. The Jenny Position can be found on Podbean, iTunes, and your favorite podcatcher app beginning October 1st. It will be the new home of Geek and Sassy, Talk and Pop, Freak Out Drive-In, and lots of fun new content from the queen of Place to Be Nation, Jennifer Smith. Over at the PTBN Wrestling feed, on the Place to Be podcast, JT and Scott wrap up the 1989 with a live watch of No Holds Barred with guests Jennifer Smith and Tim Cable. Wrestling Warzone is back with episode 30, featuring WCW Clash of Champions 32. On the 5th episode of the Extreme 3-Way Dance, JT, Jenny, and John dance their way through 3 episodes of ECW Hardcore TV from March and April of 1994. On the main event, number 134, Scott, Nate, and Steve Willie preview the Wednesday Night War between AEW and NXT, plus New Japan Classic match pick. Ben Zaney interviews Ian Riccoboni, plus Marco and Logan Stunt on episode 23 of Row 1 Seat 1. And of course, every Wednesday at PlaceToBeNation.com, we've got the most interesting and unexpectedly funny stories on the wide world web in Glenn's Weekly Walk. For college and football fans, Scott Criscolo and Logan Crosland have their weekly campus hot takes, looking back at the previous week and looking ahead to the biggest matchups. Catch their weekly column in every Tuesday afternoon. And if you're doing any online shopping over at Amazon.com, be sure to click the Amazon banner on the right side of the Place to Be Nation homepage, or use www.placetobenation.com/Amazon, and it takes you right to Amazon and helps out the PTBN with no cost to you. Check out our social media pages and message board over at www.bigelobe34.proboards.com for information on joining GWWE, PPV, and TV Match Ever Project. Get in on the conversation today and start researching your list. So, on the second half of this podcast today, we will be discussing Halloween Horror Nights, which is literally my favorite thing of the year. And joining us is a brand new person to Place to Be Nation, Starla Marie Locke. How are you today, Starla?
I am ridiculously excited to be here. Thank you, Jason.
You want to? So over at Place to Be Nation, we have the greatest song of the '80s tournament going on, and we're just about towards the end. Do you want to go ahead and help me pick the batch from the other day?
Absolutely.
All right. So in one of the Elite Eight matchups, we have Billie Jean from Michael Jackson against Sweet Child of Mine from Guns N' Roses.
Oh. I think Billie Jean.
So I actually went Sweet Child of Mine because there is plenty of plenty of Michael Jackson representation in this tournament.
Yeah, I knew you would though, but like Billie Jean, for me, that's just, I cannot help. You hear that song and you just cannot help but sing along. It was as if you were the one that was being accused of being somebody's daddy. So
I get it. Here's another. They're all tough at this point. We have Eye of the Tiger from Survivor against another one, Bites the Dust from Queen.
Oh crap!
It doesn't get any easier.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with. Yeah, I'm definitely going with Queen, because what kind of person would I be to have the name of a Queen song tattooed on me? Not the one we're speaking of, but what kind of a fan would I be if I did not choose Another One Bites the Dust?
No, I agree. I pick Queen too because Freddie Mercury is one of the most talented human beings that ever walked this earth.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and that breaks the record of me thinking that you and I are going to be complete opposite on every single one of these.
No, well, unfortunately, it is losing pretty significantly, but, what are you going to do? Here's another one. Here's more Michael Jackson. We have Beat It against Purple Rain from Prince.
Okay, so my first instinct is always like, oh, okay, Beat It. But no, I'm going to go with Purple Rain.
Okay, that's what I did too.
Yeah.
And one more Michael Jackson song to round out all the Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson's Thriller against Don't Stop Believin' from Journey.
No, you can't do this to me. Okay, you're talking about your quintessential like scary song, like spooky on every Halloween list.
Yep.
Amazing music video. Versus like my favorite, like I'm a basic white bitch sing along kind of song that I can.
The number one karaoke song.
Yes, and I love it so much. Oh my God. Okay, well we are doing Halloween Horror Night podcast, so I'm going with Thriller.
All right. See, I did Journey.
What do you say? Journey, yeah.
It's really tough, and these are the final 8. So, I mean, as of right now, actually, all the Michael Jackson's losing, so he could be knocked out of this tournament completely. So we'll see at the end.
We will just have to.
Yeah, it should be wrapped. Those polls were put up, I think, yesterday, so that should be wrapping up. The tournament should be wrapping up by the end of the week, which has been crazy because it's been going on for like 2 months now at this point.
Oh yeah, it's down to the wire.
So you ready to talk some Halloween Horror Nights?
Oh, I'm always ready.
Let's do it. All right.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Let me get some history about you and this wonderful event that Universal Studios puts on every year.
Okay, me first?
Yes. Ladies first.
Me first. Okay. Ladies first. All right. Okay, I am officially obsessed. I have been going since 2000, which was Halloween Horror Nights 10, the infamous You Don't Know Jack. So that makes this year 19 for me. It's crazy when I think about the fact that I have made sure that I have made it, even if it was a time to each year. Unfortunately, there was a lot of ramen eating, a lot of sleeping in my car at rest areas, just to make sure that I could travel to Orlando. Yeah, there was a lot of that. A lot of people saying, yes, people were like, oh, I can't afford to go this year. They're like, oh, why don't you just not go this year? And then this is where I get the most confused look on my face. What do you mean not go? This is me waiting my entire year for my favorite thing ever, like ever.
I am literally the same way.
And yes, unfortunately, a lot of people are kind of bummed when they hear that, hey, you've been going for 19 years, and I have missed out on a lot of really amazing houses since I started in 2000. From 2000 and 2006, I went with friends. I ran from one well-lit store to another well-lit store, buying chocolate-covered marshmallows on a stick and running from chainsaws. I would watch the incredible Bill and Ted show, and to me, that was worth it alone. I could not bring myself to go in the houses. I had worked in haunted houses before. Growing up doing theater, I had done haunted houses in Fort Myers at the Shell Factory 2 years in a row. There was just enough of a chicken in me to not be able to go in these big fancy haunted houses at Universal for those first 6 years.
And when you told me that, I was shocked.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm not like a big ride person. I don't do like coasters or anything like that, but I'm like horror 100%. 2006, I brought my mom for the first time. She was like, what's this thing that my daughter loves so much? We took a trip to Orlando. I brought her, and it was Sweet 16. It would have been a really, really good year to bring her. And unfortunately, I still didn't go in any of the houses. And my mom, the kind of person she was totally cool with that. You know, she would have done it, but she was like, hey, you're not comfortable with this. Let's just walk around and look at stuff. And it was a slow day that we went to, which is another thing that bums me out, thinking about how like low lines would have been.
Yeah.
You know,
certainly not the case anymore.
No, definitely not. The way that the event has grown is just phenomenal. And, so we went that year. And then in between that time of 2006 and 2007, Mom was diagnosed with ALS, and she went downhill pretty quickly. And it became pretty clear, with this fatal disease, that she was never going to be able to go back with me. And it kind of made me rethink a lot of things about life and things that I wanted to try that I thought was kind of silly that I put off, you know. So 2007 was a huge landmark year for me. And of course, it was an amazing year because you had Jack coming back. You've got Freddie, Jason Leatherface. It was like this amazing, amazing year. So that's when I finally went and said, okay, I'm going to do this. My very first house at Halloween Horror Nights was Vampire Bloodbath. Now, probably a tame house to go into for your first time, kind of like S&M vampires. So it was kinky enough for me, definitely, that I was like, hey, I could do this. yeah, lots of scantily clad vampires. I'm totally all for that.
Nice.
Yep. And I had a lot of really great experiences that year with the different people that I went with. So I did also try my first roller coaster at Horror Nights. It was actually a really slow night. It was after Halloween, so it was like November 1st or 2nd. And I did go on the Mummy. Okay. I was drunk. And I might have had a lot of maybe like muscle relaxers or something also. But I did go on the Mummy in the first row, and I did think that I died, so I decided I was never going to do that again.
Wow. So I'm not huge on coasters. I can handle Mummy. It's not too bad.
I had to be pried out of the seat. It took the guy there, and I asked my friend if I peed myself because I did not know, and she said, no, you can get out now, and I was like, no, I can't. So they took, my hands were like, my muscles were locked up, and I was like gripped onto the bar, so they're like prying my hands off and like pulling me out of the seat. So coaster, no. Houses, hell yeah. So
there you go.
Yeah. So 2007, great year for experiences. 2008, my favorite year overall.
That's awesome.
Yes, I can. Everybody has one year that stands out to them the most. 2008 for me had everything. You had the most cohesive event throughout. You had an amazing website that kept me like on my toes, and my all-time favorite icon, Bloody Mary, Dr. Mary Agon. Here's the messed up part. As much as I love those houses, Mary's house, Reflections of Fear, is the only one I did not go into.
That's odd.
It had a really long line. I couldn't afford express. People said it sucked, and I think part of me was like, oh, we'll see Mary again. We saw Jack again.
And never happened.
Little did I know. Yeah, little did I know the crap would happen with the copywriting and everything, and we would never get to experience Mary full-fledged again. So that's kind of something I look back on and I'm like, shit, I wish I would have done it. As crazy as they said, silly as this house was, But yeah, so that was, you've got like a landmark year, 2007 and 2008, and then things start to blend together a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
I understand that completely. Let me just say, though, when you started to describe 2008 a little bit, you're like, 2008, it had everything. It reminded me of Stefan from SNL. You know what?
Really?
Bill Hader.
I love Bill Hader.
You're like, 2008 had everything.
It had everything. It really did. It really did.
Let me just say, I am so salty about 2007 because my two best friends went, and they didn't tell me they were going.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Me being a huge Friday the 13th fan, I was gutted. But you've certainly been to the event a lot more than I have.
Well, yeah, but you didn't get to experience that year then.
No, I did not.
That was
my very first year was 2004 was 2005 was the very first year I attended, and then I went again in 2006, and then I went again in 2007, but I didn't go back again until 2011. We didn't go in 2012, but I've been every year since 2013.
Okay.
But it's all a blur. I don't remember any of the houses I went to when I went in 2005, 2006. I don't remember. I remember the Bill and Ted show. That's all I remember.
Okay, well, 2005 we were in Iowa.
Yep, I remember that. I remember doing.
Right?
I did the Dudley Do-Right ride, which I will never do again.
Oh yeah, definitely will not do that one. I don't do like flying down a flume of water from like really high up. I'm not cool with that. But I like the theming of it. You know, I understand why they no longer do it on Islands of Adventure, and I know they say, oh, it has like already has all of its own theming. It's hard to dress it up like a blank canvas kind of thing, like they can for the studios. But I liked that it was smaller because it gave you a more claustrophobic feel, and I think that's why it seemed scarier to me. Obviously, you know, I'm just getting used to go.
Just wait till they do it at
more and more
Volcano Bay.
brave, like a.
I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah, just wait till they do it at Volcano Bay. Lava zombies.
Oh well, I'm actually all for that. Shake up the zombies, because how many times are we going to have zombies? You know, make them a little different.
Well, you know, it's a common trope for Halloween zombies and of that nature.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me into, you know, our scare zones for this year. But anyway, back to you and how you started coming. And I'm sure you made your own sacrifices to come to the event.
Well, I didn't really know what it was until I actually went. I went with a girlfriend at the time and a couple of friends, and I had a blast. I wanted to go back every year after that, but you know, circumstances didn't let that happen. Like I said, I went in 2006, and I went again in 2008. But I'm never not going again. I'm going to go every year. You know, it's just something it is. Forget Christmas, forget my birthday, forget, you know, Easter, forget Super Bowl Sunday. My thing is Halloween Horror Nights. I absolutely love Halloween Horror Nights so much.
Yes. I usually tell people like my list of my favorite things, and I have that listed, and that's usually number one. Most people are like, "Oh, ahead of sex," and you're like, "Yeah." Because
that feeling you get walking in, that smell, the sounds.
It was like your skin was electrified.
Yes.
I felt like intense tingly feelings for like, you know, you're like, oh, the park does it for me. Yeah, it was pretty insane. So are we going to talk about our top houses, period, before we rank this year? Because I'm kind of...
Well, I only remember a handful. Well, once we get to the houses, we can do that. We're going to talk about the the scare zones from this year first.
Okay.
Let me describe to the people what a scare zone is, who may not be familiar with Halloween Horror Nights. Scare zones are areas of the park that you walk through that they have actors there to scare you. It's usually themed in some variety of fashion. There's bigger ones, there's smaller ones. The quality can tend to be different each time you go. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people I know don't even go to the houses. They just go and hang out in the scare zones and just take pictures and watch people get scared. I know a lot of people that do that, actually.
People watching is a big deal.
Yeah. In my opinion, this year's scare zones, and compared to the last few years, were not as good.
I would second that.
Okay, so I didn't want to get attacked.
No.
I thought it was a huge step down from the past few years. Like a significant step down. But that's just my personal opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. So how would you rank the scare zones this year?
This year, okay.
Starting with the worst one.
Oh, worst?
Yes.
Okay. I say, for me, worst is going to be Zombieland 2 Double Tap.
Okay.
I cannot... First of all, Zombieland, it was an alright movie, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people that really love it. And zombies, all right? It's kind of comical to see, like, all the different sorts of zombies and the people running around with frying pans.
Mm-hmm.
And I go through that area a lot because I'm a pizza fiend, so I'm always going to, like, Louis to get pizza or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I go through there a lot, and it's just kind of zombies. So for me, it's just like another Thursday, basically.
Fair enough.
I might as well be at work around zombie-like people.
So for me, the worst one was an arcade. And let me tell you why. I was so excited when I heard the announcement for this scare zone. I love vintage video games.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously love horror. So I thought, oh shit, this is going to be great. I was thinking they're going to have, like, you know, tie-ins with, like, Centipede and old video games. And no, it was just generic neon lights, neon chainsaws, and I was so disappointed. I mean, it looks cool. If I maybe dropped acid before I went to Horror Nights, I may have enjoyed it more. But, I mean, the girls on the stilts are pretty hot.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it didn't really do much for me.
I like the, and I hate that I don't know the name for this, the light effect that looks like that top layer, and you can see, like, the fog swirling and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? That they kind of project it. No, it's like they project it from the top.
Okay.
And it comes across, and it looks like there's basically like a level above you of, like, smoke or something in, like, a light that was, like, neon green. And you can see, like,
I know exactly what you're talking about. I thought that was like a projector light.
Yeah, some kind of thing like that. I've seen them use it in, like, Disney. I think, like, the Little Mermaid thing. It made it look like you were underwater and stuff. That was pretty cool. I did get, actually, one of the greatest scares that I've actually had, I want to say, probably this year in an arcade. And that's it was, and I don't even know if you consider it part of that zone, because it was actually right last week. I was with Leela, who is my Halloween Horror Night wife, and we had just come into the park, and it was maybe about a couple minutes after 6, and we're coming in, and we're walking past the area where you can use your maps.
Okay.
And
like
about to head over towards, in arcade at the entrance.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, totally caught off guard. You know, you're like, you're looking at her, and I'm saying, okay, what are we going to hit up? Like, do you think we should go this way or that way? And we're making a plan. And I look to her to the left really quick, and I walk past the map box, and standing behind the map box is one of them from that zone with the chainsaw, and jumps out in front of me, and I jumped like 4 feet in the air and screamed. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
You know, normally I scream and then laugh if I've been caught off guard, you know, especially like in a house. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't laugh. I just screamed.
Wow.
Like,
so you were legit, like.
Yeah. I was just like, and then I was like, wow, thanks. Like, that was so, you know what I mean? Like, you get to a point of where you're, like, thankful when someone can rattle you like that.
Yeah. Let me preface by saying it takes a lot to scare me. Like, I don't get scared generally at Horror Nights, like, ever. It takes a lot, like something super creepy or something like legit coming like out of nowhere. Is the only thing that'll really get me to jump. And I see a lot of criticisms of people saying like, "Oh, the event's not scary enough." When I do Horror Nights, I'm more looking for detail. I'm looking for like setup, originality, how they build the sets, especially when they do like IPs, like how they make something that I love on screen come to life. That's what I do Horror Nights for personally. So I don't really get scared. Anyway, all right. So back to the scare zones.
Yes.
What do you have at number 4?
Next to last, that's where I have Anarcade.
Okay.
So it was pretty close to yours.
About that. So that's where actually I have Zombieland Double Tap.
Okay, see, we just swapped those two.
Yeah.
All right.
So my problem with Zombieland Double Tap is the area where they have it. It's generally like the big scare zone of the year. That's where they have The Purge. That's where they have Vamp 85 last year. And it's usually like the best one. And it just was so underwhelming. So underwhelming. Like the only thing I even cared about was the Bill Murray zombie.
Is that the golf one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
literally the tribute store. That was the best part of that.
Yeah, the tribute store was actually really good this year. Like the show they had with the what do they call that game? We could hit the hammer and the bell. That was boring. It did nothing for me.
No, and it's funny how when you said that zone, is always like a big deal.
Yeah.
How they purge there. Yeah, and they have the purge there. What, like 8 times? See, I've kind of gotten used to that area being just like bleh when I go through it, because it's like, sorry, I'm not a fan. I don't dislike the purge, but you can only have like so many times of, hey, these people are allowed to kill you.
Yeah.
Before you're just like, okay.
No, and I get the criticism. I just really enjoyed it. I was really a big fan of the Statue of Liberty Purge Girl. I liked how the sirens. It felt alive. Zombieland Double Tap, it didn't feel alive. It felt like, oh, well, here's some zombies. Have fun. Here's a Jesse Eisenberg lookalike.
I like that they had a Charlie Chaplin. I don't know how that played into that.
I don't know if I saw that.
He was cool, but I could not get a shot of him. He was really zooming around, which I know that's kind of like their thing.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like a photo op. He was a fast zombie.
One of my greatest accomplishments was being able to get a picture of Carrie a couple years ago.
Okay. See, I don't think I ever got a picture
with any scare actor.
Oh no, I definitely have, not with her.
Oh, with her. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite pictures, and to be honest, I want to say it was the year with Fear. So, like, the icon was Fear.
I don't know if I was there.
Oh, that was. Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
Consulting my stuff here, and I'm trying to think. They had him up on stilts. They had a couple of actors. It was in that corner right in front of Mel's.
Okay.
And it was still light out. And I have this picture. This is a while ago because I had blonde hair. And I don't know who took the picture for me, but they're kind of far back, and you can see me. I guess I approached the scare actor on stilts, and they were coming towards me, and they had like a giant blade or something, and I basically had my hands up like don't cut my face off or whatever,
Is this photo on Facebook?
No, it's not on Facebook.
Oh, well, you're going to have to send it to me, so I expect
I'm going to have to find it. Sadly, and that's another thing that really bums me, is I don't have a lot of my pictures from early Horror Nights, because when I first moved to St. Augustine, I had my stuff in storage, and I paid on it for about 4 years before I lost almost everything.
Oh, that's terrible.
So there's a lot of things that I don't. So, like, my picture of me being on The Mummy is not is gone. But yeah,
There's no proof that you actually did it.
right? Just my trauma. That's all. Just that little trauma in my brain. I want to say it actually could have been Albert Kane. It could have been the caretaker that was coming after me. All I know is that I had blonde hair and I looked terrified of his giant like axe or scissors or something that he had in his hand.
Wow.
But that was probably one of my favorite pictures. I remember trying to take a picture of the director in that same zone. It had to have been something about, the icons specifically, like coming back or whatever. And the director was zooming around with his camera, and I had my camera, and I was like, okay, I'm going to catch him. And he turns and he spots me, and he starts coming right at me.
Nice.
Like, quickly. So I'm like trying to press the button, like, come on. He gets directly in front of my face before he just zooms, before he like runs right into me, They're so good at getting like so close.
Yeah.
And then I realized my lens cap was on.
Oh, man. Womp,
Yeah.
womp.
But anyways, yeah, so that is a great picture from that. But what do you have for number 3? I'm curious.
I have
we
Rob
have the same-
Zombie Hellbilly Deluxe.
No.
So
Okay.
I'm actually surprised it's not last. I don't make it as well. No, this was like prejudgment in my head before I saw it. The only reason is because I'm not a huge Rob Zombie fan.
Okay.
It was a fine scare zone. The music. I'm like, I don't want to hear Dragula 9,000 times. That's also a part of the reason. Once we get to the houses where I have a house ranked where I do, I'm not a huge Rob Zombie fan. It was fine. The aesthetic of it, the setup of it, the girls dancing in the cages, that was nice.
Yes.
It was fine. I have nothing, extra to say about it. It was fine. It was okay.
And that's what it's about. It's about your gut feeling. If it's not giving you a good gut feeling, then it's not.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, it does a lot of nice things to my gut. And so it's funny that you have that there. My number 3, I have Vanity Ball. I think everybody works really hard in that zone, at least for the most part that I've seen. They're all very active. I have a hard time with that area being scary at all. Because it has such like that Hollywood feel to it. It's so open and light. There's only been one time that I've had a favorite zone in that spot.
Was that Vamp 55?
No, actually, Vamp 55 was great, but never got a freak feeling.
Was it the icons?
Nope. It was 2008 Asylum in Wonderland.
Okay, so I don't. I was there. I don't remember it.
They had a huge setup. They had crazy fog and lights. Like, you really, it wasn't easy to navigate. You know how, like, it's not very easy to navigate going through Central Park because it's always, like, shrouded in fog and stuff. It was kind of like that. And the characters, because it was like a twisted Alice in Wonderland thing, which I absolutely adored, they were really freaky. And I loved that.
I love Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
I remember the house a few years ago. Everyone hated it, the 3D one, and I'm like, I don't know, I loved it.
I like the 3D ones a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But so my Vanity Ball thing, a lot of my friends really enjoyed, and this is really funny though, especially because a lot of my gay friends really enjoy that. It's like Project Runway meets Botched, you know. And especially if they get some drinks and then they're like, yes, queen, like, you know, at everybody up and down the runway. And they have a really good time, people watching over there and stuff.
Nice.
Like I said, I think it's fun to go through, and I make like kissy faces at some of the characters and stuff and tell them how pretty they are. But that's all it does for me. So.
All right. Fair enough.
You know.
What do you have for 2?
All right, I have Vikings.
And that's where I have that too.
Okay. It's just like the best spot for a scare zone.
Yeah.
there wasn't anything that was really super original this year. I've always loved that whole Viking aesthetic. I think they did, they did what they could there. They got some creepy looking actors. They got some creepy props. You got lots of fog, but,
I didn't understand what the giant tree was doing with the Vikings. What does the tree have to do with the... You know what I'm talking about? The giant tree when you walk in coming from the ET area?
What people were referring to, evil Groot.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
I think of Vikings and I think of, like,
boats.
Nature. And, you know what I mean?
Oh, I thought think of, like, boats and, like, seafarers and, I don't know, ahoy.
Okay. Ahoy, yes.
Nordics with beards.
Yeah, and what do they make their boats out of? Wood.
Fair enough.
From trees. Evil trees.
I don't think of the Vikings themselves making the boats out of trees.
You don't think Vikings make their own boats?
Hold on. I never said that they don't. I said I don't think that. I don't think of that. I think of them like
us on,
they go to the boat store.
Undeadboats.com.
Exactly.
I did think the boat thing was pretty cool. But,
well, it's funny that you said that about Groot because that's instantly what I thought.
Yeah, that's kind of like somebody else had said evil Groot, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much that. So does that mean that your number one was Vanity Ball then?
It does. Simply for the originality. I thought it was very different. I liked the concept. I liked the setup. I like the idea of it. But again, like, I don't think any of these scare zones hold a candle to any of the ones from last year. Like, I would put, if I ranked Vanity Fair my number one from this year, it would be the last one ranked from last year, you know?
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about the scare zones this year. It's kind of sad.
It is sad. And even my favorite one, which of course ends up being Rob Zombie Hellbilly Deluxe, I've always been a Rob Zombie fan. I actually prefer his music over his movies, except for, thankfully, the one that they made a house this year is actually like my favorite movie of his.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We're gonna have a lot to say then.
One of my least favorite movies ever on the face of this planet happens to be one of his movies.
Me too. But I'm curious, which one?
Lords of Salem.
Oh, see, I never saw it.
I drove like over an hour to go to a different theater just to find that movie, and it was horrendous. Like, I'm sitting there going, why am I watching this? This is so bad.
That's how I feel about Halloween too.
Oh. Yeah, see, Halloween is very important to me, so I know it's important to you.
I liked his first one. I utterly despised his Halloween 2. Like, I was actively angry watching this movie. Like, what is this horse? Why is his wife back? I don't want to see any of this. This is garbage.
Yeah. I had less feelings than you about the second one, but I didn't even really like the first one.
Okay.
It's pretty bad when you want your heroine to die in the very, first 10 minutes. Scout Taylor Compton, I don't like that girl.
Interesting.
You're supposed to be playing this teenage girl. You're joking with your dad about, like, sex and bagels or some shit. And
well, hold on.
Like,
that's not a reason to not like her. She didn't write the script.
No, but, like, you know how something about certain actresses can just irk you?
Fair enough.
I just don't like her. And then this is probably the first time you'll ever hear a lesbian complain about gratuitous boobs. But her friend that was laying there topless dying when her dad, the cop, runs in, gratuitous titty shot. And they didn't need that. But there she is, like, dying, and her dad comes running in. She's completely topless, and I'm just like, really? Like, you're already dying. Like, you don't need to feel uncomfortable even more by the fact that you have no shirt on and your dad's right there. Like, just
all right, fair enough.
I didn't like it.
All right, that's fair.
So anyway, so Rob Zombie, I like all the different props and stuff. I love that you could get in Dracula. I like the throne there. If I could just get a badass picture of me in it, not
I did want to do that too.
Yeah, like, it crowds. There gets a lot of people. You have to take turns. I need to find a time that I can get in there and actually like get some good ass pictures. And I love that they had the Doctor and Living Dead Girl. Living Dead Girl is one of my absolute favorite songs. Probably like my top 3. So I super appreciated that. The gorgeous mummy girl. Yes, she was beautiful. Leila got an amazing shot of her in the fog undulating. And I was like, yeah. So anyway, that's why I like it. Like I feel like a powerful feeling going through that zone, listening to his music and like rocking out. It's good for me anyway. So
I mean, I don't like. All right, so his music itself is fine. It's a personal reason why I don't really care for him as a person. It's from a concert I saw him at many years ago. It was a music festival down in Miami called Global Gathering, and it was a mixture of hard rock and techno, like dance. Like other acts there was 9 Inch Nails was there, Flyleaf, Killswitch Engage, a bunch of like harder heavy rock. And when Rob Zombie was on stage, like between every set, all he would do was complain about the techno music playing, like 100 yards away at the techno tent. I'm like, dude, it's a fucking music festival. Don't knock the other kinds of music here. That kind of rubbed me the really wrong way.
Oh no, I could totally understand that.
Yeah, and also half his set is White Zombie songs too, and I'm like, play your own shit. I mean, granted, it's his shit too.
Why are you here if you can't even stand? You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
Like for me, I would go to like a chicken and waffles festival if I made amazing chicken. If I couldn't stand the smell of waffles and I complained about it all day,
exactly.
Like chose to go there, like
he literally got on the mic and said, "What is this music out there? It's terrible." I'm like, dude, shut up. Just stop. Just stop. It really rubbed me the wrong way. Actually, there is one Rob Zombie song I do like quite a bit. "Never Gonna Stop." That's a good song.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so I think now we should get into the houses.
I think so too. Oh, we're gonna say hi to my kitty. Say hi, Jill. Mew mew.
Oh wow! On command.
Yes, she's very vocal. Anyway, she wants to hear about the houses too.
Okay. Do you want to tell me what your favorite house of all time is first?
Oh, all time, not
or
just
like
this year.
Like like out of the history of the event, like 2 or 3 houses that really got you.
Yes, I can do that. Actually.
Mm-hmm.
I was just making sure we're on the same page. Yeah. Okay, so my favorite house is 2007 Nightmare on Elm Street Dreamwalkers.
I'm trying not to be salty about this, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I'm a huge Freddy fan. I loved the idea of the sleep clinic. I like how after they gassed you and put you to sleep, you walk out into the soundstage and you're looking at Freddy's home. You're outside and you're staring at Freddy's dilapidated house with little chicks in white nightgowns running around being like, Freddy's home, Freddy's home. Like, it was so fucking freaky, and it just had so many fantastic things through it that it is just burned in my brain as being like if I could go through that exact house again, I totally would.
I cannot begin to describe to you my jealousy right now.
Well, put it this way: when I heard that someone had gone through, like a disgruntled type guest, or I should call her horny guest, went through trying to make out with everybody in that house, like, I almost understand. Like, I almost.
Wow.
I know. Anyway, so so moving on from that.
Well, let me just interject real quick.
Okay.
Because when we first started talking, like, back 5 years ago now at this point, seems like it. Like, we started talking about slashers and how you're more Freddy, and I'm obviously, for many reasons, more Jason. But Freddy's always my number 2. So that would have been like one of my top houses of all time if I were able to go that year.
All right, so if I make a time machine for any reason and I go back to 2007 to go in that house, I'm bringing you with me then.
Are we going to do the Friday the 13th one too?
Oh, Camp Blood, of course.
All right, sounds good to me. I'm into it.
Okay. Yes, it's a plan. All right. So I think I have pretty much put one from last year in my second spot.
Oh, wow.
Poltergeist.
Okay.
Poltergeist from 2018. Yeah. So I'm an 80s child. I was born in 81. Poltergeist was a very big movie for me as a kid. I was always very much obsessed with the curse of Poltergeist, with Heather O'Rourke and her death, even Dominique Dunn. And when I heard they were having this house, I was like, okay, I'm going to get my hopes up and hopefully not get too disappointed. I was absolutely blown away. Like, I had not been in a house that got me that excited. Not only did it feel long, really long, I felt like it had hit all the amazing points of the movie that you wanted, but then some. Like, then their minds went wild and they kind of took weird aspects of it and just ran with it. The giant white crazy creatures behind the screens, and then you turned a corner and then there it was, the clown room, like going through that weird tunnel that was like in the throat or stomach of the monster or something, which was so fleshy and freaky. Like, it was just phenomenal.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a point in that house where they had like the voice of Zelda? That's her name, right? The older woman.
It's not Zelda. It is. Oh God.
You know who I'm talking about? That like.
I know you're talking about the psychic lady, and they're because she's telling you something about like don't go into the light. She's telling Caroline not to go into the light because there's a snake in there, and wow, fuck, I can't think of it. Her name. You know
exactly what I'm talking about, though.
Yes, I know exactly what.
I feel like I heard her voice in that house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I just want to make sure my mind, because her real name is Zelda.
Isn't it Zelda like Rubinstein?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah. It'll come to us. It will. But just phenomenal house.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
that was actually my number 2 house last year.
Okay. The original Dead Exposure, big deal for me.
Okay.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And 25 Years of Monsters and Mayhem, I think is going to be on a lot of people's, because, that was like 25 years. You had so many aspects of a bunch of different houses in there.
Yep. That was a big deal.
Yeah, I really, really loved that one. Dracula, Legacy of Blood, that was in 2009. Mm-hmm. Probably my favorite vampire house that we've had. We had a lot of different kind of vampire houses.
My worst house was actually a Dracula house.
Was it Dracula Untold?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was so bad. So bad.
Well, I didn't go through that one.
Oh, well, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, my first year living in St. Augustine, I was supposed to come with a friend, and she was not allowed to come, something, her family or whatever. I came by myself. I got there late. I was tired. I had to work the next morning. I didn't have Express. I did a handful of houses.
Which year was this?
This was 2014, I believe.
This was the year they had a Halloween.
Yes, so I didn't get to do Halloween.
Oh my God, that was my favorite house.
I know. It was, I didn't get to do Alien versus Predator either, and I'm a huge Alien fan. So
I remember in that house you had to like crouch down for a little bit, and that made me really uncomfortable because I'm a bit of a bigger fella, so that wasn't.
I was going to say you're not a shorty. So.
Yeah, that wasn't pleasant. But overall, I remember it being okay. How tall am I?
Yeah,
like 6'2", 6'3". Depends on if I'm standing up straight.
I'm like 5'7.5", but still, I'm like fairly tall for a female.
Yeah.
And I think, crouching down probably would have been a little awkward.
Yeah, it was not pleasant. So, like I was saying, my favorite house was Halloween. It was that throne was taken away this year. Spoiler, which we'll get to. If you follow me on either Facebook and or Twitter, you already know what my favorite house was. But yeah, Halloween was literally walking through the movie scene by scene. I remember doing Horror Nights that year, waiting in that holding area back by Springfield, and we did the Halloween house like 4 times in a row in a matter of 20 minutes, and I loved it every single time. Oh my god, it was amazing. Just walk in, go out, wait time 5 minutes, walk right back in, go right through. It was it was awesome. Like, there was literally one house in that room that you walk in, and there's on either side of you 5 Michael Myers. Some are like mannequins, some are like real people with a strobe light going on. So you don't know, like, oh shit, like it's like, so like, you know, 1 second, like if Michael Myers will be right in front of you, it was fucking nerve wracking, but it was awesome.
Mannequin room.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was my favorite. Also considerable honorable mentions to, like I said, I'm a huge slasher guy, so I got to throw some love to Freddy vs. Jason. I'm going to say the house was a little underwhelming at the first walkthrough because my hype for it was so intense.
Okay, yeah.
But after like numerous times going through it, I'm like, I loved it more and more each time. Like walking through first like that Camp Crystal Lake, and then walking through 1428 Elm. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it because I love those movies so much. So yeah, that's all I really had to mention. Oh, Poltergeist last year. Stranger Things last year was actually my number 1 because I thought it fit the show so well. But Poltergeist was so well done. So well done. I loved that. And The Shining, too, from 2 years ago was actually really good, too.
Oh, The Shining was pretty phenomenal. Yeah.
It was really great.
As far as, like, last year, I had it as Poltergeist, Stranger Things was second. Now, I'm a Stranger Things fan, like, insane. I thought that was actually fairly scary with the Demogorgons popping out and stuff. Okay. I loved being able to be brought into that show. Seeds of Extinction, I thought was pretty badass.
Oh, that was the trees and shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun.
So
I don't remember my ranking from last year. I talked about it on Freak Out Driving that I did with the Queen, Jennifer Smith. Yeah, I don't remember my official ranking, but I do remember I had number 1 Stranger Things and number 2 was Poltergeist because they were both so good.
Yeah, see, mine were like swapped with that, but
Slaughterhouse Cinema I love too.
Oh, see, and that down for me was like 8. It was fun, but I think it had a lot of heavy hitters. Okay. So I kind of had to like put it down.
Well, to me last year, like there was no bad house. Like even like the worst house was fine.
Well, my worst one I put was Halloween 4.
Really? Wow. And Blumhouse.
Was so underwhelmed.
Okay.
I had one really amazing run through Blumhouse, believe it or not. Like I ran out the back end of it like screaming. And that was the one time. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. So
let's talk about this year.
Yes, because I could really go on and on for other stuff. So let's dive right in.
So we're going to do this in reverse. So start from your worst and going up. So what do you got for your worst house? I'm really intrigued. I'm really kind of curious of like how different our lists are going to be because I keep seeing online and I keep seeing like one I have close to the bottom like everyone has ranked as their favorite. I'm like I don't see it and I don't understand why. But I'm really curious to see because we were going in here spoiler free. Unfortunately, she knows what my favorite one was because I blurted about it in a drunken rant on Facebook. So she already knows my number 1.
Mine for you, so
yeah. So we know our number 1s, but the rest of the list is completely blind. So I'm really curious what your number 10 was.
So my number 10, Jordan Peele's Us.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I'm like iffy about the movie. I have friends that were like, "Oh, that's genius," and I'm talking about my friend B. Okay. The more I thought about after the movie, the more I started thinking this doesn't make sense and that doesn't make sense. I thought it fit the movie really well. Were we all disappointed that we didn't get the song? Got 5 on it.
Okay.
There's no song. It starts to play it and then it doesn't. So that's a little sad because you expect to hear that. But it did fit the movie. Would I have been more grossed out if they showed people eating the bunnies instead of them looking adorable? No, the bunnies look cute. And I didn't get scared once. I'm just like walking through it going, hey, this looks like the movie. Okay. There was nothing scary about it to me. So.
And that's fair. And I'll once I get to that house on my list, I'll share my feelings about it. Got a while till I get there, though. So my number 10, we've talked about that. I alluded to it in our talk about the scare zones. And my number 10 was House of a Thousand Corpses. So, yeah. And again, let me preface by saying it wasn't bad. Like, to me, the houses this year were all good. Good to great. Like, if I were to give the House of a Thousand Corpses a score out of 10, I'd still give it a solid 7.5. It was still really good. It's just, I don't care about the movie. I didn't like the movie. And I feel bad saying this, especially after the news that happened last week with the passing. But it's just, you can't change how you feel about things, and I didn't love it. I did enjoy the Chris Hardwick that you walked by in the house sitting in the chair. I thought I popped for that. But overall, I mean, again, I liked it. It was fun to look at. I loved the phone booth outside the entrance. I shed a tear as I walked by it. I took a picture of it. I poured one out. But again, I mean, maybe I need to do it again. But like I said, I didn't hate it. I
think you should do it again.
I have to. That would require me going again. We'll have to see if that happens.
We'll make it happen.
Okay. It'll be a thing.
Okay.
I like I said, I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun. But it's the bottom of my list. And like I said, though, it's still a solid 7.5 out of 10. So that just tells you how the quality, I think, of the houses this year.
Okay.
So what do you got?
All right, you ready for my number 9?
I am ready for your number 9.
Okay. So number 9, I have Depths of Fear.
Okay.
And I have it at 9 because the creatures remind me of the roller skating fish from SpongeBob, which I'm sure you've heard from other people.
I did not, but that's pretty great.
I was sitting behind a car from, I want to say, South Carolina, and there was a fish, a smiling fish, on their license plate, and I said, oh, look, it's the creature from Depths of Fear.
Wow.
And my friend in the car with me was one that I happened to have brought, my friend Daphne, that I brought with me last week. So she was cracking up. She actually couldn't see when we went in the house. I've been trying to go into that house while it's still light outside, so it's darker, you know.
Yeah.
Just her eyes. And I thought that would make it scary for me because I felt like it was just very, it wasn't claustrophobic. It had like a sterile, wide open feel to it. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like the fact that you had the creature in the front in half. So you go in thinking, okay, these things can be killed. Something obviously had this thing chained up. Maybe you're safe. And then you go in and shit starts going wrong. The thing's going to blow up. You have a hot girl telling you, I'm going to cover you. And you're like, okay. Then they have like weird boils and some kind of crazy, I don't know where the sickness came from. I don't know if that's from like the water or maybe the creature's blood. I have no idea how that ties into it, but you've got crazy people with some infection and then crazy creatures that look like they should be on roller skates. So, you know.
I didn't even think about the roller skate thing. That's pretty great.
Yeah. You know which ones I'm talking about? The really happy fish?
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, it's kind of like that. So, what is your number 9?
So, this is the one that everyone is praising as, like, the best one. And I just didn't see it. Maybe I had a bad walkthrough. Maybe they're doing a cast change.
I know it is.
It didn't do anything for me. And for me, my number 9 is Graveyard Games.
I was right. Okay.
I didn't love it.
I knew that's what you were going to say. People are crushing on that house really hard.
I know. Why? I don't know. I don't get it.
We've done quite a few cemetery houses.
Yeah.
You know, I do think this is one of the better ones. Definitely, I've been enjoying it more and more now. You know, I keep going, being like, okay, you know, let's see if I get a better run. I am enjoying it more that I go through it, so it climbed my my list a bit, but it just didn't. It wasn't standing out to me the way others were.
I definitely need to do another walkthrough of it to maybe it was just the one I had. I'm pretty sure it was the second house we did that day, so it may have been, I don't know, like too early, and there wasn't enough. On yet. It did got literally nothing for me.
Of stuff.
What's that?
Yeah. It got lost in a combobulation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. That could very well be exactly what happened. I don't see.
Yeah, like you said.
But even with, I don't see the hype. I don't. Maybe I'm just out of touch. I don't know. I'm an old man at this point. I could be out of touch.
It has like a social media play on it. Maybe we're too old to get the idea.
Get off my lawn.
Yes.
I feel like that guy listening to the classic rock station in Green Day comes on, and I'm like, oh, I'm just sad.
Yes.
So what do you have for number 9?
Okay, so number 8, I have Nightingale's Blood Pit.
That's what I meant. Okay, that's exactly where I have it too. So we can talk about it.
Yes, we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
I love the Nightingale's idea. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's really neat that they decided to stick it in this whole ancient Rome feeling.
I was walking in and I felt like I was walking into like 300, you know? Like this is Sparta.
Yes. Maybe I'm a little salty because my friend's husband, who I hate, would have loved this house. He's obsessed with anything, like he thinks he's like a gladiator or whatever.
Sure.
So the horse in the front made me sad, obviously. I don't get how everybody is confused about birds, because obviously what the hell did you think they were? Nightingales, like they're obviously, how do you think they flew into the trenches in the first house?
Yeah.
Like, anyway, they're just less evolved in this. I think one of the things for me, I was like, oh, this is cool, this is scary, this is great. But like I said, there was just other stuff. I feel bad for where it's at. It's just that other stuff was just trumping it, and I hate to even using that word.
It's, oh God, I didn't even think about that.
It just had to kind of get pushed back because of how I felt about other things.
Yeah.
But that, and I feel bad because it has a similar smell to it that the Upside Down has in Stranger Things, which doesn't bother me so much, but my friend hates that smell.
Yeah, a lot of people are bothered about the smell. I remember that complaint.
She thinks it smells like shit, and I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't bother
it has
me.
just like decay, kind of, decomp, whatever it's supposed to be, just basically otherworldly badness.
Let me just say, if your friends want to smell shit, she should have done that Baby's House a few years ago. I forgot the name of it was, but you walk in and it smells like a dirty diaper. You know what I'm talking about?
I know in the Psychoscarapy old one, people said the bathroom scene had like crap in it or whatever.
I'll have to look it up after we record, but there was a house, I think it was 25 or 26, that you walk in and it was like a demented like baby set, and there was like dolls and shit, and it was literally like a dirty diaper smell when you walk in.
House of the Damned. That's probably where it would have fitted best.
Maybe.
Yes, I think so.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. But yeah, so you know how it is. Like you're going through the whole time. Like, oh, I love my friend, but she's like, this stinks, this stinks, this stinks. So it's kind of like, okay, we'll be through it in a minute. Like,
suck it up.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, so number 7.
Yes.
All right, so I have Yeti.
Okay.
Number 7.
Okay.
Yes. What do you have?
So I feel like I'm going to get I feel like I'm going to get a lot of shit for putting this at number 7 because this is another one that people love. I didn't, again, like, we're like, from here on out, it's like, 1A, 1B, like, they're all super good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Yeti is great. I like to be cold.
Yeah.
That's how it got to be before Nightingales.
Yeah.
So
this is where I have Universal Monsters.
Oh, no.
Yeah, see? Exactly. But again, like I said, like, if I were to give this a score out of 10, it would be a 9. Like, the top tier is just so good. So good to me. Like I said, like, House of a Thousand Corpses was a 7.5. Graveyard and Nightingale were 8s. Like, Universal Monsters and up, they're 8.5 and up. Like, they're like top tier. Like, every house this year was not bad. There was nothing bad about any of these houses. Again, I think it was a hype thing.
Yeah.
Like, I expected a lot more than what I got. And I did it right after Carnival Graveyard Games. So I think my mentality was like, oh, well, that was disappointing. And I think I walked in,
with that mindset.
Yeah. So it could have had an effect on it. Again, I didn't hate it. I loved seeing, like, Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein and, Creature of the Black Lagoon. I loved all that shit. It's I liked the other houses more.
Okay. Understandable.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so
what do you have for your number
6?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have Stranger Things for number 6. And I know that's rough, especially for me being a Stranger Things freak. So they're squeezing what part of 2 and 3 they can into it.
Yep.
Was it the exact scenes that I would have imagined? Not all of them. A big deal for me, and I know this sounds really stupid, one of my very favorite things about the show is Michael Wheeler, okay? If I was a 15-year-old girl, I would be all about Finn Wolfhard.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm a Steve guy myself.
He's not meant to be in that house, and I've only seen him in it twice, and it's only they've shoved him in when other characters were missing in the cabin scene.
Okay.
Twice out of all the times I've gone through, the scene where Elle is holding off the monster. Normally you've got Nancy in the corner with the gun, you've got Elle, then you've got Max going, oh shit. So the first time I went through, there was no Elle, there was no Max, but there's a chick dressed as Mike.
Yep.
Always, because of his gorgeous cheekbones, you've always got a girl dressed as him.
Of course.
Which is why my friends tell me I like him, because he looks like a girl. Which is probably true. Anyway,
maybe that's why I like Steve, because of his hair. Because it looks like a chick.
So that's the first time I saw him.
Hold on. Not to diverge, just real quick. What the fuck did he do, by the way? Joe Keery.
So that was one picture I saw. Somebody else posted another one and said that he was back to normal.
He cut his hair off. How could he be back to normal?
No, he had it combed down all stupid.
So he didn't cut it?
No.
Okay.
No, he like bangs.
Oh.
I don't know. You never know. Maybe the picture was out of context. Maybe it was like really stupid hair day at whatever
God, it's so bad.
It was so bad.
Oh,
so bad.
Anyway, okay, go ahead. Go back.
Maybe they were like, try to go incognito. So he was like, oh, the hair, obviously. If I put it down like this, nobody will bother me. Anyway.
Yeah.
So when I went through and I saw him, everybody else is like, the mind flayer. And I'm like, Michael Wheeler! Yes!
Oh, no.
I was so excited. So I only saw him one other time. They had him in there. So that was a big deal for me, because if you're not going to put my favorite character from my favorite show in a house, especially with as many times as he saved Elle's ass in that last season, that's going to be a big deal. Going through, let me say that it's not easy to push someone in a wheelchair through the bus scene.
Okay.
It was like, here I am trying to push my friend in a wheelchair, and it was very like back and forth, narrow, getting stuck. Oh no, oh crap. And the whole time Dustin's going, we're going to die, like nonstop. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying this bus because I can't get my friend's wheelchair through. So that was kind of an issue. And then the part where you go through at the end and then you see the mind flare and then we go, holy shit, because that was the last thing we expected, was to have this giant mind flare. So that was really badass. Yeah. And then of course the fact that you could hear them playing Never Ending Story towards the end of the house. Yeah. You hear it from other cues. Yeah. So it gave us something to sing while we were waiting in line, which was very fun. But so even though I did enjoy it for many reasons, it was not as good as the first Stranger Things house, I believe.
I'll agree with that, 100%.
It didn't feel scary. It felt, yes, you did a great job of going through the show for the most part. I wasn't scared of Billy. I really wasn't scared of any of the Demodogs. I was very surprised at the way they had them jumping out and stuff. I was not afraid of them. You know, the scene with Elle closing the gate was looked amazing. Yeah, you know, but that was great. Mechanical, Demodog coming out of the wall, it's not coming anywhere near you, and you're like, oh, look at that, you know.
I'll share my feelings once I get to that in my ranking. I have things to say myself. So my number 6, it was that's where I have depths of fear. Okay, I like the idea of it. I like the concept. I liked the feel. It felt different when you walk in. There's something about it. I don't know. I felt uneasy walking through it, and I like that feeling. Like I said, I don't get scared. I get jumped every so often, but legit scared? No, not really. Because that's why I don't understand with these people. You know, they someone jumps out of them and they punch a scare actor. I'm like, listen, you know what you're doing. You know where you are. You know what event you're at. What is wrong with you? What is wrong? If your girlfriend jumps out and scares you, do you punch her in the face when you're not expecting it at all? It's so stupid to me. Anyway, I just the whole concept of it. I liked the idea of it. I liked the sense of uneasy that you got when you walked through. I just thought it was fun. I have really nothing else to say. I just thought it was fun.
Okay. Let's see. So we're at 5 then.
We are.
So 5 is where I have Graveyard Games.
Okay. Yes. So you didn't think it was the greatest thing since sliced bread either?
No, it was not my favorite. Like I said, I started to appreciate it more. I liked the audio that they played outside as you're walking up, where you could hear the kid being like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So then that gave me something to chant as I was going, which is funny because at work and, the museum, since, I work at, here's my shameless plug, Ripley's in St. Augustine, the original.
Cheap plug.
Yes. We have a scene. It's a two-way mirror. And they basically tell you, make funny faces and try to do this and try to do that. And the guy's like, do it, just do it. And it totally reminded me of that. So anytime I go either place, by that section at work or by Graveyard Games outside of the house, I'm like, just do it.
So when I hear just do it, I think of Shia LaBeouf. or I think of Ben Stiller from Starsky and Hutch. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I like Ben Stiller, but I never saw that one.
Oh, the movie's garbage, but that scene is great. I'll send you a video clip of it later. It's pretty great. He plays this older Jewish guy. He's like, dude, come on. Just do it. Do it. Do it.
Isn't he just an older Jewish guy anyway?
Well, this was also 17 years ago. He wasn't as old at the time.
All right.
Anyway.
That's as an old Jewish guy. Oh, you're kind of an old Jewish guy now.
He is now, yes. He played a perfect Michael Cohen.
Yes. Okay. Alrighty. So
mine that here is where I actually have Stranger Things.
Okay.
Last year it was my number one, and I really wish they had, like last year was only season 1. I really wish they only made this house for season 2, because I feel like they forced season 3 in the very end.
Yes.
And there wasn't enough season 3 for me, because season 3 was my favorite season. That really kind of bothered me, because now I feel like they're not going to do it again, and season 3 is not going to get the love that I feel it should get.
There's no sauna test. That was one of the most stressful episodes ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he's got her, like, choked, and you're like, holy crap, he's got out of the thing, he's going to kill her, and there was nothing from that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of like...
I mean, I did love the Scoops Ahoy, but
yeah.
At the same time, I feel like there should have been a lot more season 3 represented.
I feel like they gave more love to the merch for the show than they did.
100%.
Like,
yeah, when you walk into any of the stores, there's just so much merch from season. Like they had the Scoops Ahoy hats and the Camp Nowhere shirts and hats, and I just felt like the house. I feel like they wanted it to be all season 2, but someone like at the end, like, no, we got to put season 3 in there. I feel like they should have split it up, or maybe they only had the contract for 2 years. I don't know. But season 3 should have been more represented, because I fucking loved season 3. It was my favorite season of the show.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we could have definitely had more of the flesh monster. You only got it in the hospital scene when you turned that corner.
Yeah.
And if somebody was paying attention, they could have easily, like, if they just hid their face for a second or didn't even look at it, you would have completely missed the fact that this thing built an army out of flesh, basically.
Yeah.
You know, so that was kind of a bummer.
So going off in a bit of a Stranger Things season 3 tangent, I really what was her name? I forgot her name. The Steve's coworker,
Robin.
Oh, she was gorgeous.
Uma Thurman's daughter.
Yeah, she's smoking. She is a total smoke show.
As her playing a female character who happens to like women.
Yes.
I thought she was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
until that reveal, cool. I was totally shipping them together. Until that reveal.
Well, I kind of had a feeling. You know how I know? Because I recognized her face.
Okay.
When they were in the bathroom throwing up, and he was going on, and she had that oh crap face.
Yeah. No. I knew then.
Just had the oh crap face before. Yeah. When you're like, oh, I can't tell you, I don't do dudes. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I didn't catch that.
But she was great. Do I say like, oh baby, when I look at her, she is attractive, but she's not my type.
All right, fair
so yeah. I like her voice though. She's got her voice is very similar to her mother's, and they both have kind of like that throaty, a little bit of a deeper voice, which I actually like women to have. So anyway,
I find her more attractive than her mother. Is that weird?
No, not at all. Because she is. Because her dad's hot. So
yeah.
like,
right.
You know, or he was. So
what do you have? What do you have for your number 4?
Okay, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Okay. Yes, super fun.
Yes.
I think this is probably, and I had a hard time. If this wasn't like your basic, go in there with black light, blah blah blah, fun sort of house, I probably would have ranked it more as ones that I probably have gone in more than any other.
Okay.
Just because it's fun, it's an easy one. It's especially easy to do when you first get there, because no matter what, you're all going to see black anyway, except for the bright lights. So, you know, it's a good first house to go in, especially because it's right there.
Yeah. That was the first house I did this year, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I believe that's the first house that we did this year as well. Leela's a big Killer Clowns fan.
Okay.
It was my favorite Scare Zone last year.
Yes, that's why. It seems like the biggest like scare zones or the most popular scare zones are getting houses the following year.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like next year.
It actually it inspired one of my costumes this year, which is another thing I want to get into at some point.
All right.
Yeah, but I really like that. I like that we got fun smells in it, popcorn, cotton candy.
Yeah.
I like creepy clowns, so it was like perfect. I love the music, the cheesy music from it. Yeah, no, totally loved it.
Nice.
So, yep. What about you?
My number 4, that's where I have Yeti.
Okay.
I thought it was a lot of fun. It was the only house I repeated. I like the cold. I like the idea of Yeti. I think it's awesome. Me and Marshall Erickson kind of share that ideology that it could be real. Quick side joke. The wrestling company WCW had a character that was called the Yeti, but the way they announced it, the Yeti. They announced the Yeti. So my wrestling brethren in PTB Nation will appreciate the Yeti being so high on my list. But I had a lot of fun with it. The Abominable Snowman kind of, White Bigfoot. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And it was just a lot of fun. That's why it was the only repeat house I did that in time. But I really enjoyed it. I like the coldness. I like the idea of it. Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, it was definitely it's definitely a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so number 3 is where I have House of a Thousand Corpses.
Okay.
So I really that's really probably my favorite Rob Zombie movie.
Okay.
I knew it would be creepy but funny at the same time because it has a trashy sort of element to it.
Yeah.
That trashy kind of Texas Chainsaw crazy Firefly family thingy going on.
Yeah.
Baby has a crazy laugh. Ha 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 ha. Like, I've been told that I have a very cute but psychotic laugh. So when I go in there and hear her laughing and calling the guy poopy pants, and I started laughing, she's laughing, I start laughing even more. You've got sneaky old grandpa. I don't know if they meant for him to smell like poop, but he did when I walked past him. I don't know if that was like a thing, but I had one time that I went through, and this was one of the nights that we went in fairly early, so it was pretty light out. So it was very dark for us. We were running, and it was fun because we couldn't see. And a girl behind me, I knew she was lost. She was like, oh my God. Leela was in front of me. I just reached my hand back and grabbed this girl and just dragged her through with me. And she was like, thank you. I had no idea where I was going. And I think those are the houses that I appreciate when I'm disoriented.
Yeah, I agree.
There's The Spawning, which was back in 2009, I believe. I had one room in that, the end of it, where it was a nest and lots of fog and stuff.
All right.
And I got lost so many times, and I was disoriented, and that's why I liked it. And so many people hated that house. But I went through soaking wet, and you're in a sewer, and there's creatures, and it just did it for me. You know what I mean? I felt like I was really in those crazy sewers, getting lost, and there's things hatching around me, and I couldn't find my way out, and that made it work for me. So I had pretty decent runs anytime that I went through there, because it was just a fun, trashy house with good pussy liquor music. So I was good for that. So. Yes. Anyway,
before I actually, when you said that was the only Rob Zombie movie you enjoyed, you didn't like Devil's Rejects?
No.
Interesting, because I love Devil's Rejects, where I didn't care for House of a Thousand Corpses.
Finish watching Devil's Rejects.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I'm personally offended you didn't like a Rob Zombie movie.
You're not?
Not even a little bit. All right, so number 3 is actually where I have Us.
Okay.
Full disclosure,
why did you like it?
So I never saw the movie.
Oh.
The person, my
Have
friend,
you read?
No, I know nothing
Okay.
about it. My friend who I went with, my friend Tara, she has seen the movie and she loved the house. She felt like it was walking through the movie. I liked it because it was more of a creepy feeling walking through this house. Like, I legitimately was creeped out by some of the stuff I was seeing. That's why I enjoyed it the way I did. I felt uneasy. I felt like spine tingly. Not like scared, but like, ooh, this is weird. Ooh, what the fuck is this? Oh, that's not normal. Oh, this is interesting. What is this about? It made me feel
things to have in a haunted house.
Yeah, it made me want to see the movie first of all, and it creeped me out. It creeped me out, and I guess that's what it's supposed to do.
Well, you need to tell me what you think once you see the movie.
Okay.
If you have the I do. So.
Well, I should see the movie if I plan on going back again before going back. I intended on seeing the movie, it just never happened.
All right, we'll put that on your bucket list.
Yes. So what do you have for number 2?
All right, number 2, I have Ghostbusters. Okay. All right. Phenomenal house. Like, I know you love it, obviously. I loved every bit of it. Do I consider it like, ooh, freaky, freaky, scary? No. Were there some jump scares? Absolutely. But it was just that rush of, I am in the movie.
Yes.
I am in the movie. Like, you had so many things. I loved the ghost lady in the library, and I loved walking through, and they had Janine there, and going through Dana's apartment with Slimer, and, you know, so many different cool things. You know, there's no Dana, only Zool, and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It was just, in Gozer, it was just everywhere you turned, you were still getting over the last scene, and you've got something new. Like, there were a couple parts that I ran through. I think that the ghost got out, and they were kind of like attacking, you know. So before you get to like the end part, there was a couple places I ran by where things were going out, but I could not wait to get out of that house for the sheer fact of messaging my sister and being like, "You are quick, you know."
Yeah.
Like, I was already thinking about what I was going to say to them for how good it was. So that's definitely why it was my number 2.
Yeah. That's all good, fair things to say. So number 2 is where I have Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay.
The Scare Zone was fun last year. I didn't see the movie before the Scare Zone, but I did happen to catch the movie before this year's Horror Nights, and I mean,
me too.
I'm not going to beat around the bush. The movie was pretty stupid. It's cheesy as fuck.
Yes.
But the house was so much fun. So much fun. And I think if I didn't see the movie, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I did. But, like, walking through and seeing, like, the cotton candy balls, and it was just so much fun. I had so much joy walking through that house. Like, oh, this is great. But,
did you knock my head off? Like, it was just,
I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
It being the first house I hit, like, makes, like, you know, rose-colored glasses makes me think more of it than it really was. But, you know, it really doesn't fucking matter because the house was just so much fun. So much fun. Anyone who does go to Horror Nights, make that a must-do house.
Oh, absolutely.
I loved it so much.
When I met up with my best friend, Michael, he hates clowns, but I told him, I said, if you were here Halloween Horror Nights your first time, and you want something that's not going to be too frightening.
Yeah.
Like, you would bring him in Scarecrow the Reaping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that kind of, like, because that was a freaky-ass house.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's on your list from that year, but that's one I could think of. No. Okay.
I know. I'm sure I did it. I don't remember it.
I was gonna say, yeah, I almost don't forgive you for that, but I was like, you have to go through this, you know.
Yeah.
I know you don't like clowns, but if you can do this, then you can do any of the other ones. It's fun, it's silly, you know. And he made it, so it was like, yay, you did it. Just so much fun, so much fun.
Yeah,
so
that was great. And I love the photo op beforehand.
yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna have to redo that. But yeah, that's. I don't remember ever them really doing anything like that before. But I'm gonna have to redo that. So obviously, your number one is
My number one.
Yes.
Yeah, Universal Monsters.
Of course.
And not only because I have the bride tattooed on my left arm, but and trust me, I went in knowing it's a possibility that it could have disappointed me. You're talking about, you know, one of the parade buildings that had Seeds of Extinction last year. Those are some big shoes to fill as far as like fun and crazy house.
Mm-hmm.
I know Universal Monsters. It's something that, you know, as classic as it is, it can be a hit or miss. It depends on how they execute that. I almost was afraid because, say, like my friend Dan was like, "Do you think it's going to be all black and white?" And I was honestly, if you look like the merchandise and the theming for the bars and everything was like crazy neon colors, and I was like, no, I bet they're going to make it more like, you know, more colorful.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what I was expecting, but I think it had a really good mix of like your black and white and also enough of like fleshy tones to make it not seem too silly, too two-dimensional.
Yeah, I agree.
Know?
I agree.
The use of masks was a little, you know, with like Dracula and stuff, but they wanted to make him look really scary. I get that. I absolutely loved just, you had like the bell tower room with the hunchback. That was so cool, the effects.
Yeah, I don't remember
of that. No?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, that was towards the beginning.
Okay.
When you're going through Dracula and his brides, I love the room with his brides in it.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know? And then obviously going through with the laboratory with Frankenstein's monster. And then when you go around that corner and then the bride comes out and screams and you're just like, yes. And then you see the guy hanging and when you go around the corner, you don't expect this tall ass monster to come out at you and you're like, holy crap. But the Phantom in the mirror maze, that was one of the best things. I was like, you're so pretty. Like, I love the area with the Phantom. I thought that was fabulous. I love any kind of mirror maze stuff. It was so cool, you know. So I just loved you. I really honestly felt like, okay, I'm really going through like a history of these movies here.
Yeah.
I absolutely adored it. So I went out cheering like multiple times, like, yes, so great. Do I like the walk out to those houses? No, I dread.
Or the walk back from.
Yeah, walk back's probably the worst.
Yeah.
You know, I really honestly want to ask someone to tie me to a vehicle and just drag me behind them at that point. Yeah. I'm not caring. Yeah, so but that was definitely my number one.
That's
I
awesome.
tried to make sure that I do it. You know, I've gone 6 times already this year. It's still fairly early. It's still September. I'm not for long though, but I've been able to do it every time I've gone.
Oh, that's great.
And I think it's going to be fantastic every time. So
good stuff. Good stuff. Fun.
So that leads us to your number one. So go for it.
Well, like I said, if you are friends with me on Facebook and or follow me on Twitter, you already know that my number one house of this year and also my number one house of all time, who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters!
And that would be it. Walking through that house made me feel like I was 7 years old again.
Ooh.
I was giddy. I think I had the biggest smile I've ever had on my face in my life.
Oh, little smiley Jason.
I was like, ooh, this is awesome. Oh my god.
Yeah, like too much cool stuff at once. You're bouncing from one cool thing to the other.
My senses were completely overwhelmed. Like that, you first walk into the library with all the library cards sticking out, and all I can think of Bill Murray was going and hitting his hand against the thing, and just from scene to scene to scene to scene to scene. There's no Dana, only Zool, and just so much like sensory overload, and Stay Puft at the end. And a quick side note. When you go to Horror Nights, go into the tribute store, and the first building you walk into, get as many of those Ghostbusters photos you can. They have a picture of the containment unit. There's a picture of Janine's desk. There's a picture. You can get a picture of the fridge with Slimer on top, and there's even a photo op you can take in there in front of the Ghostbusters logo, which I happen to do. I fell in love with that house.
Are there outfits there?
I'm sorry?
Their jumpsuits.
Yes.
All lined up.
Yep. Got a picture of that too. I loved it so much. And if you feel anything about Ghostbusters the way I did and do, I implore you to visit Halloween Horror Nights this year and do that house. Because it gives you all the feel. I'm not even obsessed with Ghostbusters. If I were to rank my loves as a child, Ninja Turtles would be 101% number one. But Ghostbusters just owned my heart, and I loved it so much.
It is an absolute must do. This year, absolutely.
I saw a picture today of someone who posted the waiting area in front of Finnegan's, where they have, I don't know if you've done it this year, but they split it where they have you can wait in this area for Stranger Things and wait in this area for Ghostbusters, and the crowd for Ghostbusters was. What, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You kind of broke up a little.
What we were saying, so instead of just being. My cat just stabbed me. Finnegan and Simpsons, you're saying that Finnegan's area is split up twice, actually 2 different sections.
Yes.
Depending on if they want to run to Ghostbusters or Stranger Things.
Yeah, I have a friend.
No, see, I've only waited in Simpsons.
Okay. This was never a thing. Last year, I'm not an annual pass holder anymore. I was. And last year, you wait in Finnegan's, and as soon as they release you, you decide which way to go. It's choose your own adventure.
It's like Supermarket Sweep. You just run.
Sure. Sure. But I actually have a friend there who's doing the Stay and Scream. He went to the park, and now he's doing Horror Nights after. He texted me. He's like, which line should I wait in? Ghostbusters or Stranger Things? And I told him, honestly, that Stranger Things has a longer wait throughout the night, but Ghostbusters is by far their house. He opted to stay in Stranger Things. But I saw a picture where, the crowd for the Stay and Scream for Stranger Things, it's 10 times the size of the crowd waiting for Ghostbusters, and that blows my mind because I think Ghostbusters is so much better of a house. It's it's not even close.
Yeah, I guess it's just the idea of, like you said, the wait times.
Yeah.
And the idea of just the popularity, of the house. I mean, the fact that I'm such a huge fan of the show compared to how well the as far as house. If it was just, hey, this is a cool Stranger Things house, it's another thing because these are supposed to be haunted houses. So it's supposed to have a scare factor to it. I think I can honestly say that I have always ranked it higher than it probably normally would have been if it wasn't for the fact that it's my favorite freaking show.
Yeah.
So that kind of, did something for it.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. I think I rated that on a curve based on how much I do enjoy the show. I won't deny that.
Yeah.
But I am not weighing my Ghostbusters love in my ranking of this house. If you like the movie, you'll love the house. That's all I'm
Yes,
saying.
absolutely.
If any of that movie like has any part of you, you'll love the house. And I know the second movie is frowned upon, but I don't give a fuck. I hope they do Ghostbusters 2 next year. Fuck y'all. I hope they do part 2 next year.
Yeah, fuck people that don't like that one, because I loved the second one. Vigo and the painting, oh my god, I'm all about that.
And the pink slime making
Peter
you evil.
McNichol as a creepy dude, yes, I'm all about it.
All right, good. I like that.
Yeah. Scary nannies with the baby carriage, yep. So
I think we've talked at length of our house of the houses. Is there anything you wanted to say about the shows?
okay, yeah, absolutely. Still in mourning after, we've lost Bill and Ted. There's nothing that can fill that hole, okay?
That's what
Never never became a huge Academy of Villains fan, like some people jumping on that bandwagon.
Go ahead.
I'm kind of like one of those people that's like, oh, they can dance way better than me, so I don't want to watch them 18 times. I'm a salty bitch. But this year, I've seen it 4 or 5 times out of my 6 times that I've gone. I enjoyed this show thoroughly. Altered States. It's a great show. It's got great sets, a whole kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde sort of theme. It's kind of got that like era and the costume and dark sort of theme. I appreciate sort of Victorian a little bit compared to more like their cyberpunk thing last year. The music, there was She Wants Revenge, Flyleaf.
Ooh.
There was all kinds.
I did-
of Billie Eilish.
I did hear Muse.
I was like,
which excited me.
Yes. So sampling those certain songs, and that kind of gets you hyped up a bit, definitely. So I definitely recommend for anyone that maybe might have seen the show in the past and just kind of was like, not a big deal. At least see it once. At least see it once this year and kind of form your own opinion, because if I can have a renewed sort of excitement about it, then so can you. So.
Well, like I've already told you, I'm still super salty. I miss Bill and Ted so much. I'm not blaming the Academy of Villains, and I'm not discrediting their talent. I'm just hurt. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, as a Patriot fan, I love Tom Brady. And I know once Tom Brady retires, I'm going to hate the quarterback coming in. And it's not going to be that quarterback's fault. It's going to be, I miss Tom Brady. That's how I feel about Academy of Villains. I just fucking miss Bill and Ted so much. And I'm not going to deny or hide it. I love Bill and Ted. I love that show. And I miss it. And I think its presence needs to be back at Horror Nights. And that's nothing against the Academy of Villains either. I did not personally see the show. And I think if I do go back to Horror Nights again, I will check it out just to see it.
Good.
I'm not going to have my views on it being there over Bill and Ted cloud my judgment. I'm going to try to go in there with an open mind. I don't personally care for dance. That's just me. But I do appreciate the talent. I mean, I used to watch So You Think You Could Dance. I used to watch shows like that all the time. I'm big on athletic anything. Yeah, and I saw the show the first year they were there, and I thought it was good. It's just I really, really miss Bill and Ted. I think that presence is sorely missed, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
But I will say that I really enjoyed the show over the, what is that area called? The lake? The lagoon. Called Halloween Marathon of Mayhem. It was a super fun, light show with water. It hit
Bernie fountains.
Yes, that hit all the houses that were focused upon this year. Music is super 80s. As many of you in Place to Be Nation know, I am a huge Duran Duranite, and hearing Hungry Like the Wolf right before the start of the show gives me that warm and fuzzy feeling inside. hearing Simon Le Bon. It was a lot of fun, and I'm happy I did watch that show.
Yes, I watched the end of it when Daphne and I we were tired. And from what we could see, it did look quite entertaining. So
it's only a 10-minute show. You have to. It's a 10-minute show.
I probably saw 8 minutes of it. So, but where we were sitting, I don't think I got a good angle.
Okay.
So I could see some of the projection up on the buildings, but I don't think I was able to really see it on the water itself.
That makes sense.
So I think I will. And this is what we do as fans. We kind of say, you know what, we're going to give this another chance.
Yeah.
So that's what we do.
And to anyone,
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah. Have you ever based anything in your life off of Halloween Horror Nights, whether that be, like, for instance, where I have Halloween costumes or art or anything? You know, have you ever used inspiration from Halloween Horror Nights for anything in your regular day-to-day life?
Well, I would honestly say that the basis for this podcast was for me to talk about Halloween Horror Nights come September. Because I love it so much.
Perfect podcast.
I love theme parks. I love Disney. I'm a pass holder for Disney. I go there as much as I possibly can. But even my love for Disney is far outweighed by my love for Halloween Horror Nights. I love talking about it. I love being there. Just even like, not even like doing anything, just being there, sitting in a restaurant and eating.
Or even brand new lumber. It reminds me of when construction would start, especially back when and you could, while you were in the so and kind of like peek and see what they had going on, and you could smell all this fresh lumber.
Yeah.
And you were just like, ooh, smells like Horror Nights is coming. So yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
We love that Horror Nights, don't we?
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was trying to get a cat to agree with me, but she's being quiet now.
Of course. Fickle performers.
Yes, right. So, can I just mention the costumes, because I am I grew up doing theater, and I started making a lot of my costumes ever since I was a kid because my mom didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I have based costumes off of characters from Halloween Horror Nights.
That's amazing.
So just throw this out there. So the year that they Meets and Lee, I was Mrs. Carter for Halloween. This housewife thing going on with carrying around a guy's arm and an axe. Like a meat cleaver. Sorry. So, yes. So I had that. One year, my friend and I made nurse outfits. So
like
we
the
would
ones
have
you
that
used
whole
to sell
blood.
I missed that.
The blood bags, yes.
I missed that.
Stuff. Yes, me too. Every year I would go and get a picture with one of them. So, my friend and I went and yeah, okay. I miss the girl, you miss the drink.
I miss the girls too. I miss both.
Okay. We went and got dresses from the medical supply store.
Wow.
And we cut them up and put blood on them, and we did our makeup and had our little hat, and we made ourselves like a killer nurse kind of thing based specifically off of those. So that was fun. This year, I will be going to Salem for Halloween, and I will be going to 2 different costume balls. One is the Witch's Ball, and the other one is the Thorn Hotel Ball. And the theme this year, and while there's a lot of space stuff you can use, I'm going to do something very different. I will be flying, and I have a whole lot of room to bring costumes, and usually I go big or go home. So my Witch's Ball costume is going to be my fancier costume, and my costume for the Hawthorne ball with the space theme, I thought, what can I possibly do that is going to be easy? So my friend and I were inspired by Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and we are going to be the Terenzi brothers that rent the ice cream truck to try to pick up girls.
Nice.
So we are going to be carrying around fake ice cream that is actually made of soap, and be dressed as ice cream dudes running from killer clowns.
I like it.
So that was kind of an easy idea that I came up with. And I was like, oh, we can, she's happy. She gets to wear jeans and a hat. And as a lot of lesbians like that, can I wear jeans and a hat? They're right.
I didn't know that was a thing.
And then yes, that's a thing. A lot of them like their hats. So, the other one that is on my list of ones I've always wanted to do but haven't pulled off yet is Bloody Mary, because, as we know, that's my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And the only reason that I have not pulled off Bloody Mary yet is because one of the things that makes Mary frightening is the lack of pupils. I would have to have white Solera lenses, like the opaque white lenses for her eyes. They always said that was one of the creepy things about her, is because how you connect with somebody, you look them in the eye, and she just has blank white eyes.
Yeah.
And that made her actually scary. So while I love the look for the actress and just the whole aesthetic for it, that would not be an easy thing for me to get, especially because I have astigmatism and I have to have special shaped lenses. So it's on my list, but one day I will get to be Bloody Mary and scare the crap out of so many people. I can't wait.
That'd be awesome.
Yes, I'm excited for that.
Nice.
So thank you for letting me share that.
Of course, absolutely. So quick, if you want people to find you on social media, I don't even know if you have a Twitter or an Instagram.
I do not. Okay. I'm old school. It took me many years to get a Facebook. So I am on Facebook, Starla Marie Locke, L-O-C-K-E. Locke is silent. I am not on Twitter. I am not on Instagram.
I didn't think you were. I just thought I'd ask. And is there anything else you wanted to plug?
Come to Ripley's in St. Augustine. That was about it. So,
all right.
Yeah.
As far as I go, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, PTBN E-Ticket at both. If you want to drop me an email with any questions, comments, concerns, PTBNETA at outlook.com. You can find me on Facebook and any of the PTBN groups. My name again is Jason Sherman, if you don't know. But I wanted to thank everyone for listening to the show today, and I wanted to thank Starla for joining me in discussing my favorite thing in the world, Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes, my favorite thing too. Thank you for having me, very much so.
Absolutely. It was a good time. It was a great talk. I enjoyed it. And I hope everyone has a good day. Thank you very much.